Hello and welcome to Art Keller Field on beautiful campus of Carthage College here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This is Tim Burke, and I'm joined tonight by two of my colleagues, Mike Doman and Lou DeFalco, to bring you coverage of this evening's fixture between North Park and your Carthage Redmen. So Mike, besides this game, I want to start with you. This is the two teams playing at the top of the table. Number 3 team currently in the standings. How do you size the matchup?
Yeah, great question, Tim. And good to see you guys. And Lou, good to see you up in the booth. I know you're not a Carthage alum, but you sure are a heck of an athlete. A 3-time April North Player of the Year, High School Player of the Year. So we're happy. Great to be here. Tim, to get back to your question, I look at this game, obviously it's a conference game. Both teams are at the top of the top 3, so obviously moving on from this game with a win. But these two teams, Tim, and what I see that separates the two of them is Carthage is probably a little more balanced on the top end. They've got, I think 4 or 5 players with 4+ goals. North Park has one player, number 8, Pedram, that has 15 goals on the year, and after that, you go to 2 and 3. So obviously, he's the guy to mark. Carthage knows that. Everybody knows when you play. So I think that'll be interesting to see the struggle between a balanced attack versus somebody that's obviously going to score a lot of goals.
I certainly think that's part of Coach Doman's game plan tonight, to get a few players watching him.
You know, well said, Mike. I think as you size this matchup, what you're going to see is two teams that are playing a little bit different alignment. I think North Park's going to heavy up in the back and really play a targeted player up front. Lou, as we look at this game, we're playing in front of sort of a home crowd. We had a tough game at Wheaton. What do you think Carthage needs to do to get off sort of on the right footing, given what they had happened to them late in games?
Yeah, when you think about the last few games especially, Tim, it's been a tale of two teams from my perspective. The Wheaton game, they let Wheaton get into that game early with a few goals, and it caused the team to have to play a slightly different strategy. And I think Coach Doman noted the other day they had to get forward and try to get back into that, and Wheaton really made them pay for it. Contrast that with when they come back home against Augustana. I think we scored 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. It was a great start, good energy, got into the system early, and then sadly they kind of let Augustana back into that game. They were able to come back and win it 5-3, but you gotta expect them to come out with a lot of energy, play the system, and if they do get lucky enough to get up early and find the back of the net, you do not want to let this game get back into it.
Welcome to Art Keller Field here on the campus.
Great, so we're going to go to the announcements, and we'll be back to join you right after that.
And your Carthage College Redmen. This regulation college conference of Illinois and Wisconsin game is scheduled for 2:45.5 with a copy of 2 goal overtime periods. At this time, we would like to introduce the visiting Vikings of North Park, who entered today's game with a record of 11-3 and 2-1 in the CCIW. Number 5, Krzysztof Zawodowski. Number 7, Mikhail Wozek. Number 8, Pedro Vasilic. Number 10, Diego Lefty. Number 15, Jason Gonzalez. Number 19, Chase Leonhardt. Number 21, Keba Sanya. Number 22, Ricky Pimenta. Number 24, Rick Anderson. Number 25, Jeff Parker. Number 26, the Vikings are coached by John Gordon. He is coached by Chris Grant, Preston Hahn, Matt Bond, Townsend Bedard, and Greg Domenico. And now for your Carthage College Redmen, who went to the game with a 9-5-1 record, 3-1 in the CCIW. Captain number 10, Ivan Chavez. Captain number 18, Shane Riley. Number 2, Evan Bott. Number 3, Nick Lobo. Number 7, Nick Bucheri. Number 14, Jamie Calvin. Number 15, Johnny Wilkins. Number 17, Austin Villa. Number 22, Giles Phillips. Number 25, Hughes. Today's head official is Nicola Stanchevich. His assistants are William Ingram and Oscar Padilla. Cooperation of supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. And CAA, CCIW, and Carthage College, thank you for your cooperation.
So Jeff, I think we're back live here. You just heard the announcements for North Park Vikings and your Carthage College Redmond. So before this ball gets kicked off, do we have any predictions? Start here, Lou.
I got to tell you, Tim, the one thing I'm noticing is there's a pretty blistering wind blowing in, and so it's going to be interesting to see how the guys take advantage of that. But I'd like to see, again, I think Carthage comes out looking to get an early goal. We'll see what they can do, and I hope they can settle in defensively and make sure they stay strong in the back.
So who do we have as a winner or loss?
I'm going to go ahead and predict Carthage with a 2-1 victory in this game, Tim. It's going to be tight.
Mike, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Lou. I think it's going to be low scoring. I also think Carthage is going to come out ahead on this one. I'm going to say 2-1 as well, if I could. And I agree with you. Carthage is going against the wind early. But one thing I noticed, Tim and Lou, that is unusual is both teams are pretty sizable. Normally Carthage has somewhat of an advantage height-wise, but geez, North Park looks pretty tall to me.
Yeah, that's great, guys. So we have 2-2-1 outcomes here. I think Carthage 3-1. I think they're going to get a goal early. They're going to play, looks like to play a false 9, run a second striker up front. We're going to go with a straight line back. What we need to do is avoid any type of foul situation early, I think. So I think we're going to see the teams size each other up right here off the bat, get a feel for the speed of the game, and we'll see what kind of rate each team plays with here. So we're just starting the action. North Park with the kick, and they brought the ball down to Carthage end for a throw-in. So we'll see how things go.
Big throw there.
We got a big throw. As you can see, they're sort of feeling each other out here. Not overwhelming pressure here from either team. We're trying to work some kinks out. There's a great interception by 17. Plays it forward, but there's where that wind comes into play, Lou. I think you had mentioned it. So that ball sort of hangs up, or it's going to be sort of pushed really far forward, creating a little bit of havoc on the field. So both teams got to be mindful of that. Here's North Park on the top of the box. That ball's played out of bounds. It's like a North Park throw. So right away off the bat, a couple giveaways by either team.
I like the pressure up front here that we saw early, caused a quick giveaway. Unfortunately, the pass was a little too strong there and just couldn't quite connect up front. But I like that pressure. I'd like to see the work rate strong like that and get our forwards pressing their defense, see if we can create some opportunities on a giveaway.
Looks like we're going to have a big throw. Ball played in right on Carthage line, cleared off by one of our defenders. Goalie looked like he was sort of slow to react. Maybe didn't pick up that ball real well. Yeah, we got the Carthage crazies going wild down here.
Oh, there
get the crowd going. Looks like that Greg Pignataro as usual, right, with beating the drum.
Carthage alumni.
Yeah, Mike, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was saying, thankfully, Jamie Townsend was on that back side because that was actually going to the corner of the net, and I don't think the goalie saw it right away.
Looks like we have a foul. I don't know let's see what the foul was. Sort of innocuous. Looked like maybe an offsides, pulled the ball coming from behind the back line. You know what's interesting here? I don't see Philip Dominski. I'm not sure if he's out due to racking up yellow cards. I know that's a
dangerous play there. Tough giveaway.
Tough giveaway. Who is that? Is that Purdue? Is that their goal scorer, Mike? 8 with the first sort of shot of the game?
Yep.
All right, so again, we're missing.
This is dangerous.
Wow. A really early goal, a giveaway. We weren't strong enough in the back there. That's not the way to start in front of your home crowd.
You can tell Bod is not happy right now. You can't really blame him 100% on that one. It was a giveaway in the back that he had 3 guys attacking there, and not much he could do on that one. But guys, very, very sloppy in the back, Tim.
Guys, I just mentioned being without Philip Dominski. He gives you sort of that rock in the back. Very physical player, very tough. Not sure if that's actually Philip back there. I can't get a good read on the number, but Jake McCary is sort of filling in for him, and he's not as stout a player. He went for a little bit of a leg tackle and played the ball right off of North Park forward and won the ball and went forward, and it's 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It seems to be one of our issues this year for Carthage. They get down early with a silly mistake, and then you're kind of chasing after it and then having to do some last-minute heroics. You guys have seen some of these goals that have been scored in the last 2-3 minutes left in the game, so I hope we can avoid that.
It's always fun as a fan to see these last-minute comebacks, but I can tell you, Coach Doman does not like it as a coach, and sometimes for the players. You do not want to have to be relying on last-minute heroics. It'll be interesting to see how the Redmen respond here after that quick goal. Almost very similar start, Tim, to the Wheaton game like we talked about in the pregame show.
And you just saw Chavez with some lazy play, I think, in the center there. Sort of gave the ball away, looking to do a 1-2 combo. Looked like he was going to trap it. Looked like he was going to play it on a 1-2. And, again, North Park just picks it up, takes a rip from about 35 out. And, again, putting shots on net, trying to play that win factor.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
What makes me hesitate here a little bit is I don't see Carthage really trying to control any aspect, either whether it be the wings or the middle. Seems like we're sort of spread out here right now. We've got our two final defenders sort of a little wider than I would like when I watch a game. I'd like those guys to be a little tighter together. It's harder to score from the wings than it is to come up the middle, where you have more options at net.
Yeah. Unfortunate touch there by number 20, letting it go out of bounds. But I think you're dead on, Tim. It'll be interesting to see how the captain, if he can rally the troops here and just get them calm down and settle in. We have not shown a lot of possession or composure so far to start this game.
Yeah, Lou, I think you're right there. I mean, there you go. You got a little layoff, and let's see what we can do. We're probably going to take it down line. But again, where's the help? We have 2 guys coming upfield. We have the other 9 guys behind midfield. There's no urgency to get forward. And I think that's what normally costs us having some of those attacks.
A lot of space on the right side there.
Here comes Chavez down the middle.
That's good looking.
And ball played out. North Park back under control around their own 20 with a long ball played out, won by Shane Riley. So again, it looks like we're having some trouble sort of really getting our settle down. Hopefully we can settle into the game, much like a sinker ball pitcher in baseball. They come out that first inning, everything stays up. And looks like we're just having trouble trapping the ball, which if you can't trap the ball in soccer, you can't possess it. Lou, as a former midfielder, is that how you see it?
Absolutely. I've just seen, again, we seem a little bit panicked when we get the ball, not a lot of possession to go here. And look at this, another dangerous opportunity. Luckily you get caught on the offside there, but North Park looks willing to serve up the long ball from time to time, but they're also attacking through the middle, which is a little unusual, but gave them that early opportunity.
Lou, that's a great point. I mean, what we saw there was a lot when Mike and I played here, a lot of the stuff we tried to do, thread the ball through and have 2 guys playing off each other. So again, looks like North Park's playing sort of again, that false 9, so bringing that second striker up so you could have those sort of combinations up front. One guy wins the ball, one guy makes that run through. I'm not seeing that yet here from Carthage.
No, Carthage just does not look settled. I think Ivan's got to control it in the middle, Tim, and maybe just make the easy pass right now and get some flow.
Yeah, get everyone settled in. I mean, just control the ball, move the ball a little around the back, play it out wide where you have less population of people. There's another play. That's the ball we won. Just earlier where they scored, Lou, that's the ball we lost. We weren't strong enough to go get it. We have a little bit of a trip here. Everyone seems all right. Chavez back on his feet, and Carthage go forward.
You'd like to see Austin Bitta get himself a little bit more involved in the game. I don't think he's had but a touch so far, so hopefully you can see him on stretching out, give us some depth on the left side here. Maybe we can move the ball on a switch and get him some touches.
So again, look, as I look at the alignment, we got about 3 guys up front and everyone else hanging again around midfield when we have possession of the ball. So we're not really spreading them wide, and we're not really making any runs, and we're not really trying to get open. So I'm sort of trying to understand what the kids are trying to accomplish out here right now.
Yeah, North Park has made
another clever ball with some speed coming on the left side here. Let's see what happens.
Yep, that ball
dangerous, very dangerous. A good block. Wow. It's a missed opportunity there, but again, a really nice play by North Park.
Again, where did that ball start? 1-on-1 on the wide side. Feathered ball through. Again, a little bit advantage with the wind here. Carthage is spread out. And then they just lay that ball back, and who guarded the guy on the layoff? Nobody. So fortunate that we blocked a shot out in front of the goal. It looked like that ball was on net, and Bot wasn't really in great position to save one if it went to the corner.
Well, let's remember, there's 38 minutes left, so no need to panic here, but we sure look like we're just scattered. We just do not have any control or any flow of this. And
there's a nice win in the middle. Let's see if they can.
And a giveaway right away. And giving right back. So, both teams are sort of having some issues with playing with the ball.
There's Bitta with a nice switch of the field. We've seen our first couple passes strung together here. Unfortunately, that popped up on a tough trap. Get back to your point, Tim. You can't trap. It's going to be hard to possess.
Yeah, that's where I think, and there's not as much excuse when you're playing on these new pitches today, where it's that field turf. It's usually a pretty true bounce. The ball might play a little fast, but you're not getting those bad hops for the most part. So I'd like to see Carthage sort of again, no time to panic, but I think they've got to figure out really what their intention is here. Are we playing through someone in the middle, a target player? Are we going to play long ball and do a layoff? Again, almost a foul there. Giles got his hand out, a little pull of the jersey, no call. We'll take the good
crowd. The crowd is really. There's a nice pass out wide to number 20, moving the ball quickly, but again, a little bit of a misstep there on that pass. You see, Tim, North Park seems very willing to try to attack with the long ball right down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the same thing you guys are, and I see 3 guys from North Park pretty far forward, whereas we get the ball. There's our win. We have 2 guys right now. And we have, it takes a while for us to get the rest of the contingent upfield. But Carthage possessing right now. Got the ball taken away.
That little lead over there in the corner. Let's see how they quick to counter here. Very dangerous. He's on. He's just off. Very close play there.
But you're right earlier, Lee. They are playing some clever plays. The wingers aren't making that straight through run. They're sort of running on that diagonal, trying to hang with that last Carthage defender before they get called for offside. So playing it's a little dangerous the way they're doing it, but they're probably going to take their chances getting 20% of those right and have chances at net. And so let's see what the Carthage can do. So you see that high back line, that high pressure.
Yep.
Is really going to cause Carthage to have to rethink how they're going to do it. Are they going to move the ball around the back, or are they going to play out of trouble and then get faster rate upfield to then support the guys? Because North Park is really putting them under. We're winning a lot of our balls inside of our own 25-yard line. That's a lot of field we have to cover to get back upfield to make any type of offense happen.
I mean, Mike, as a former All-American, I saw your picture on the back of the bleachers when I drove in today, and I got to ask you, for a guy who's known for his speed and quickness on the field, what do you make of the pace of the game today as compared to when you were playing?
Yeah, that's a great question, Lou. It's definitely faster. I think that's
play on. We got a chance for a counter here. We'll pick that thought back up in a minute.
Chavez, I think went the wrong way on that,
but he wide.
Repossesses. This is where it all breaks down seemingly right now for Carthage. We get that ball wide where we have some one-on-ones and we're losing those battles.
Giveaways on the wing leading to quick counterattacks. This could be another dangerous situation here. Look at the diagonal. Oh, he decides to rip one from deep.
Interesting shot from about 30-plus out. I'm not sure I get that. They had numbers going forward. They had 5 attacking players. And if you've seen that all game so far, the first 10 minutes, North Park has sent a lot of guys forward.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're trying to take advantage of the wind. And they think they know Dominski's out of this game, so someone that sort of, settles the team down. Podard out there on the outside has got to start getting his footwork down.
Chavez with some time in the middle here. I'd like to see him possess another giveaway.
Not a lot of excuse for that one, but there again.
Maybe get back to the pace of the game, Mike.
Yeah, Lou. It absolutely is. The players that are out there, they're stronger, they're taller, they're faster. But yeah, the pace is quick, but these guys have practiced this, they're used to it. But compared to when we played, I would say it's a little bit quicker than today than it was back then.
I think the field's also a lot to do with it, Mike. Given this field turf plays pretty fast in soccer games. There's a nice ball by Chavez outside.
Great ball.
North Park does a great job winning that battle out there. The ball just hung up long enough, I think, to not put Podar in for a chance at goal on the far side.
The last few minutes, Tim, I like what Carthage is trying to do. They just haven't been able to execute yet. The passes are a little off. They're starting to look in the right direction, and I think they're thinking and trying to settle into their system a bit, get the ball out wide, but they just haven't been able to execute.
This is Towson, who's got a very big throw, so that ball could be put right at net.
That's a goal! Wow, a beautiful
what a goal!
A clever flick.
That's about a 40-yard throw-in. And Giles Phillips, the tallest guy on Carthage, I think just slipped that header. Am I right on the number, Giles Phillips?
I wonder if we can get a replay.
22.
Yeah, it is. Giles Phillips.
6'1", just a straight slip header. He barely got anything. It's just scrape, but just enough to redirect that ball. Goalie does not pick it up. That is
and just like that, they're right back in the game, and maybe that'll be just enough to settle the kids down a little bit.
Already North Park, it's right upfield. They got 3 or 4 now attacking players. Here's where you don't want to foul.
That's clean, very clean.
That is
Good
clean,
defense.
but those are dangerous plays here. You don't want to foul in those situations. If the guy's backs to the goal, you want to make him go backwards. You know, put him in an uncomfortable position. If you foul him there, it's a great chance for a dead ball situation.
Nice defense by
well over the line and not called.
Throw in.
Uh-oh, this is dangerous.
Carthage runs through that ball, which was much better than how they gave up that earlier goal. What I could tell you there was the North Park player was well over the line and should have been called by the linesman. He had a full foot over the sideline, not called. But Carthage will live to fight another day on that one.
I didn't
close
see
call
it.
there.
I didn't see it, but if you say so, Tim.
Mike, I rarely miss these things.
Based on my experience, Tim rarely misses a call, Mike. He's usually seeing the game better than any ref out there, so I'm going to have to go with Tim on this one.
Okay.
We'll see. Interesting that we don't have Towson throw the ball in all the time when we're pinned back in our own end, given that that's a huge weapon to have in a soccer game.
Chavez,
rarely see a guy with that
I'd like to see him find him wide here.
ability.
Quickly.
Okay, playing it up through. Okay.
See what I mean? They're
look at it.
really
Here's
starting to
attack.
Going wide again.
Yeah.
It's that pass right there, Tim, that just seems to be the one that we're failing to execute. It's that, the right idea, but just the wrong time and just not enough pace on that ball. There's a giveaway.
Big win. See what Chavez can do. A lot of dance with the ball. That ball was played with a lot of pace there.
A little
to
too
take
much
a little
pace in that situation.
Take a little bit off that. On that last ball where we went to the left side here, we went to the east side of the field. Potter was wide open on the west side, which would have been an easier ball.
Nice touch.
This is a dangerous situation here.
Yeah, he was trying to find Mahoney out there on the wing.
But Mahoney was well covered, whereas Potter was wide open. The guy pinched in the middle to take away some through ball up the field. What I'd like to see is Carthage make some of those sacrificial runs where you're probably not going to get the ball, but you're going to pull a defender somewhere. I'm not seeing enough of that yet to open up the middle for 17 and for Chavez here.
I like what Bitta continues to do by getting a nice switch of the field there and trying to use some of the depth of the field, keeping us wide.
See that touch. If we can just clean that touch up,
Again,
I think we're going to have a lot of
another great
advantage here.
cross-field ball by Bitta. A lot of space out there on the right now. Let's see what they can make of this opportunity.
Side to Riley. Okay.
Great defensive play.
Now you see when that ball gets won. Look at that triangle though North Park has there. They win that ball. There's 3 guys sort of coming up against one Carthage defender, and a guy on the weak side to sort of suck our sweeper over. So that those things we got to watch out for. We can't be giving the ball away inside in the 40s. Riley's got to be a little more clever, a little more crafty. Maybe lift that ball, take it up the line, or wait for help and play a little 1-2 combo.
I got to tell you, Tim and Mike, this is proving to be the up and down fixture that we expected it to be today. A lot of energy after Carthage seems to have settled in a little bit here. A lot of back and forth, both teams creating some opportunities. I'm sure it's not failing to disappoint this large crowd that we've got here today.
Yeah, they got real loud, real raucous after that goal to sort of tie it up. I think that got the nervous energy out of the stadium.
The head referee seems to be willing to let them play. There's been a few bumps that look clean, and he's let them play on, and I like that. It's a
This
good
is the
signal
ball.
for
Quicker
what's
ball
to
out
come.
there. I think we took a little bit of time to get that ball out there. Look at all that open field, and we get a darting player making that run, and then someone to fill in behind up front as a target. So those are the things I think we're going to have to clean up here, if we want to get forward in an attacking and put a lot of pressure on the North Park back line.
Lou, you bring up a good point, and we see this a lot, especially at the conference games. And Tim, you can remember whether it's North Park or Augustana or Illinois Wesleyan, each one of those games can get really gritty. And depending on the referee's position, if he interjects himself too much in the game, it can change the texture, I think. And I don't know if that's going to happen here today. It hasn't so far, and hopefully the ref continues to kind of stay on the sides a little bit.
Yeah, I like the way the head ref today has decided to call the game here in this first 15 to 20 minutes. It seems to be letting the kids play, and that's going to prove to be exciting for all the fans.
Yeah, I think both of you guys bring up a good point. What you want to see, though, if he's going to start it, he should finish that way as well. So if it starts getting out of hand, You'll probably see him start cleaning up and calling some of these fouls. If the guys stay away from those really dangerous tackles,
There goes Bitta. He might go to goal here.
Bitta with the chance at net.
Bitta's saying that maybe it was a handball.
He wanted a handball there. Very difficult to tell from the booth.
Tim, could you tell?
I couldn't tell, Mike. It looked like it was played off the leg, though. The ball didn't look like it got elevated all that high.
I'm going to agree with you.
So, and probably in a situation where
We've got to watch
very
these through
fortunate
balls.
bounce
and
there.
that last one, Mike, to your point, was probably in a situation where the defender's hand was close to the side and it wasn't an intentional play to adjust where the ball was going. So I don't think the ref wants to make a call that important in a 1-1 game early on. All right, so Carthage, again, they are playing that false front. They're playing a 2 forward attack, but our guys have gotten a little wide. I'd like to see those two guys play off each other a little better. One come forward, one pick up and fill in the gap behind, or them play a little more left to right within 10 to 12 yards of each other.
Oh, I don't know.
They've gotten a little wide. This is a dangerous ball.
That felt somewhat clean to me, but...
It was an aggressive tackle. He kind of gave up his position by going to the ground early, Mike, and I don't think it was the first one, but I think while he was on the ground, it was the second effort there that caused the foul. I got to agree with the ref on that one.
You know, here, guys, is where Bot needs to get big. He's got the biggest advantage.
Oh, no.
Mishandled?
Mishandled.
Okay.
Carthage having some real trouble just playing the ball. We need to settle down.
Looks like Bot still hasn't quite settled in yet after that early strike that caught him off guard.
That ball looked like it had a lot of top spin on it, and my guess is that sort of hit him up high where he thought it would be a little bit lower, and that ball ran up. You could see, we were talking about it before the game, where that really matted down here in the sort of center of the field where maybe that ball was hit, doing a lot of football activity in the game, and Carthage scoring all those touchdowns.
Wow, Bot going to ground on that strike there. Tim, does the marching band practice at all in that area of the field, and does that have anything to do with it, or do you think that's more?
Wow, that's a great question. I have seen, when I played here, the marching band did use it because they need these lines, but a lot of times I think Dr. Bond's done a great job with the facilities here, and what he's done is we've lined the field out behind the stadium for the marching band to do a lot of their work out there. But,
all right, guys, here's Pedram again. This is the guy we got to watch out for.
Wow, Giles Phillips, last guy back, makes a great play on what looked like a 2-on-1. So,
dangerous cross by Chavez there, but he was able to get away with it. But
Chavez not overly fast, but very clever with the ball, very crafty, likes to use the outside of the foot a lot. But I think North Park's got a pretty good scouting report on him, and knows that you can pitch him in and get him going one way, and a lot of times he's just going to cut it back.
Yeah, it's true, Tim. I mean, there's no secret that Ivan, he basically controls the middle for us. I mean, he takes it left and right, and now Bitta is also filling that role as well. But we need to get support. People need to come to him when he has the ball and not run away, because that's where we're having these long passes that are getting intercepted.
I think you're right, Mike. I mean, Chavez is running up the field. He made about a 30-yard darting run with the ball, and I don't know if I saw anyone really open up in a lane to get a pass.
Creative run. I like it. Down into the corner. Let's see. But that's going to earn them a corner kick, though.
I don't know if we quite earned it, but we're going to get one, though. This is a little sloppy touch.
I was just going to comment that I like Bot's decision to go short here on the left, and was surprised by the long ball, but a creative run by Bitta that might provide a fortuitous opportunity here.
Well,
How do you think the kids are cycling, Mike?
Well, I think the cycle is it's okay. I think it could be better. I see Steve and CJ on the sideline. They're already starting to look at maybe getting a couple subs in, and I think here's a
Carthage wins the head ball.
Is that Giles getting ahead on it again?
Yeah, that was
going over the end line.
Giles Phillips again getting ahead on it, but a little bit played a little high. Got caught up in that wind again. And Chavez put in a good corner. We need to get that ball more towards the 12. In between the 6 and the 12 is really where you want to play a lot of your corners. That's got a chance to either get slipped to the backside or, again, put right on net. Anything deeper than that's going to be you're going to have a hard time sort of getting that ball put on net right away. But Thierry needs to get this ball out, and he does.
Tim, let me ask you, you've been around the program for quite a while and seen Steve's coaching style. Has there been any changes over the years in the way he coaches and approaches a game?
That's a great point, Mike. I can remember the games we played. He was a lot younger then.
Oh, very clever run by number 25 here.
Let's pick that up in a second.
Nice to see Bot.
North Park right on the backside. That's a great play by Bot. If he doesn't intercept that, North Park's got a very good opportunity to go up 2-1 on that. Mike, getting back to your point, though, I have noticed a pretty good change in Steve. He's a lot more calmer on the sideline. His demeanor's a little different. I don't see him really get all too fired up if he gets down in a game. And you don't really hear him yell all that often now. He might do that a little differently at halftime. but out on the field, he tries to keep calm. I think he's got a young team, and we've had that sort of, for the last few years, where we don't have a ton of senior leadership and a ton of experience. So I think with the young guys, he wants to keep calm and let them know that it's all right to make a mistake. Just get back in and get after it.
Oh, a
Great
clever little step over there.
Crafty. Played in.
It's going to be another corner.
It's going to be a corner.
Deflected, and that'll be a corner.
Here's what I'd like to see out of that ball again. Played between that 6 and that 12. You think Giles Phillips can get on the end of this one, Lou?
You'd like to think so, based on the flick we saw earlier from him. Who's usually taking these corners? Is that going to be Bitta serving up the ball?
Yeah.
Bitta. Chavez did that last one. Bitta's going to do one. It looks like we're going to be coming with the wind here, so we should realize here that we have a little bit of an advantage with the wind. We played a little short. North Park with some trouble on the clearance. We might be better off with a throw in here.
I didn't see anybody on either the front or far post, and that surprises me. And I'm sure Steve's going to talk. He's going to talk to the team at halftime about that.
So this may work out better than the corner. We've got Towson making that throw again.
Another big throw. These are the plays where you kind of missed Dominski with his 6'0" frame.
At Wheaton, he was doing some flip throws. I don't know if
another big throw.
Oh, it's good. That's off the post.
Oh my gosh, that hit the
right call. That is a great call. Giles Phillips again off a throw, and I've never seen this in a game.
Was that
2 throw-ins?
Giles Phillips.
2 throw-ins connecting on head goals. That's incredible. Never mind, Mike. In all the years you played soccer, have you ever seen that, Lou?
That was Bitta, actually. That was Bitta.
Bitta with the head ball?
Bitta with the head ball. Yeah.
Was it Bitta?
Oh, was it Bitta?
It was
on
Bitta.
A throw by Towson. That was incredible. Yeah, that throw was on a line, played right about the 6-yard line.
Tim, I think you're right. If I'm Coach Doman, I might think about a strategy of looking for more throw-ins deep in the zone rather than corner kicks.
I mean, those throw-ins are coming on a straight line. They're very controlled. They're not got a lot of air on them where the goalie can make that decision to come out and maybe challenge and try to field the play himself.
Yeah,
Tim, how much of that is crosswind versus how much do you think is just pure power on the throw?
That looked like pure power. He does have advantage. He is going with the wind when he's throwing from the west side of the field across the field to the east. So west to east. Good step by Bukhari.
Very nice step by Bukhari.
So we'll see if he gets a throw in here on the east side of the field. Another long ball.
I don't
like to see Bott come out on that one and be a little bit more aggressive, guys.
I think Riley would also like to see Bott sort of come out and challenge that ball. That's a lot to do for a defender to hold the guy off and
I'd also like to see him go short to Giles again, which he does. I see us control the ball out of the back here. We opt to go long ball again, but look, there's a little bit of an opening there.
Vogel's got a nice trap on that.
Yeah, Vogel.
A lot of speed here approaching on the right-hand side. Let's see if we can get another throw-in in that corner.
Oh, see, that's that touch right there, Mike. We just we can't shake that.
Here they come quickly on the counterattack. That one a little bit aggressive.
Towson's just got great speed. He's got a great work rate. He's one of those guys that you don't want to take off the pitch. He's a real.
He goes with one of these long throws from the corner here, Tim.
We'll get a good feel for how far he's actually throwing this ball.
Just look at the length of that. That's 30 yards, Tim, from what I could tell.
It's an easy 30 because they're actually starting from almost 10 yards in, about 8 yards. So it's about somewhere around 40 yards he's throwing that ball.
38 by my calcs, guys.
And there goes Mahoney. Nice give and go to Mahoney.
Now look at the overlapping run.
He missed him, unfortunately.
So now we put ourselves under. Look at this, 4 guys.
Very dangerous giveaway right there. Very dangerous on the counterattack. Oh.
4 guys.
Great defense.
This is what I like about Towson. That's speed and strength. Like to keep that ball in.
Townsend reminded me of a player that you guys both know, Andy Stump, there on that play. Just had a good jump on the ball, very strong, and just not to be beat.
Mike, you played a lot of years with Andy. One of the most stout defenders I've ever seen. It's a good comparison, Liz.
It's a great comparison, and here's what I'm nervous about today, guys, and maybe it's the win that's going to be
played out for a goal kick. Actually, that ball just went on the north side of the flag there.
I'm a little worried about the counterattack by North Park. They've had a couple of them, albeit they've been off sides, but they're going to connect on a couple of those. So this 2-1 lead, it doesn't feel as comforting as it could be.
Guys, I remember talking in our pregame production meeting where we were talking about if we get sucked back too deep, if our back line is playing too low, and we're not able to get high enough, I'd like our team to start winning balls outside of our own 40. That's less room to run when we're trying to get more guys forward, and it's also a lot more difficult for North Park to get upfield if we're pinning their guys back. It's a lot more length to run for their midfielders on those overlapping runs and those through balls. What do you think, Lou?
I totally agree, Tim. Looks like Bitta and Chavez were looking for short ball right there, but opted to go a different direction. But yeah, I think the counterattack, what's been dangerous has been the costly giveaways right between the 20 and 30 here, and it's just been we've been lucky that only one of them's gone in. And now with a nice bending ball, but a little bit too aggressive.
All the Carthage players sort of went to that near side when you probably know that ball is going to be floated backside, and not a lot of room to do anything near side on that or near post.
It's interesting the way you two describe that as a bending ball. I used to call that a banana.
Wow. That's real old school, Mike. I'm really showing your age now.
Show your age a little bit there, Mike.
Well, I guess you're right.
So that's a nice little win. I thought we had a good chance to get out. Surprised North Park doesn't want to play that at feet and wants to go with a throw in there, where Riley was quick to get on that ball. So I think you always want to play the ball on your feet if you have no one around you, and you can settle and see the field in front of you, rather than let it go out of bounds where you have to take a...
Interesting play here. It looks like number 25 is coming all the way across field. Perhaps he also has a big throw, maybe looking to use the wind here. Looks like DeCarne making this throw. He came all the way from the right side, but didn't look anywhere near as effective as what we've been able to get out of Townsend.
I think that was Sauer Mahoney with a header win, like get that ball going forward. Looks like that ball's out of bounds. So another big throw potentially for North Park. Not quite what Townsend's been able to do.
Nothing like Townsend.
About 10 yards short of what Townsend's doing, but that ball's still getting in a dangerous area of the field. A little shorter, trying to do a slip header. Very by Bob.
Very good reflexes by Bob, but you want to see
guys unmarked
get that ball first.
3 guys unmarked. They did a slip header. They're not throwing it as far as Towson, but there's where that slip header is, Mike. If you get that ball between the 6 and the 12, there's that opportunity to not get one header or one volley, but to get 2.
Tim, what do you make of our organization in the back right now in these dead ball plays?
It looks sloppy. We have a lot of guys guarding. It looks like one person. What we really need to do is either decide, are we guarding an area or are we guarding a man? Guarding a man is difficult in that sometimes your back's to the ball and you can't always get a feel for the player. Guarding a zone, though, what you have to do is you have to make sure you don't let anyone skate in front of you.
Is this a substitution here?
That's Sauer Mahoney.
No, number 9 here.
Yeah, Sauer Mahoney.
Oh, Sauer Mahoney.
Yeah, he gets a lot of run off the bench. Did he come in on the
substitution?
He's got a great work rate, very fast. He's got a good skill and a nice shot off the right foot. Like to see him get one on
Giles coming in to get ahead on that, but this could be dangerous.
We got to go in for a tackle a little harder than that.
He's got him outside. He's got it down. He was not offsides either.
Wow.
Good defense.
He's going to be able to keep that.
Is that Giles with defense?
I mean, we had a lot of late defense there. What I didn't like...
Giles is coming up a little short on this. I don't know if he pulled a hamstring.
He's pulling at his quad there a little bit.
Guys, what I'm really nervous about is our ability to go in for these tackles in the back. That's where I think we're missing Philip Dominski.
Look at that.
Philip Dominski's a rock.
Nice touch.
He is going to win that tackle. He's a lot like Ludefalco when we played. It's either ball or man. Hopefully you get ball more often, especially in your own box. But what you want to do is you can't afford to go in soft in your own back 20. Something that we saw a lot of, you mentioned All-American Mike Dolman, wasn't a real big tackler.
Well, and you bring up a good point about those head balls. I know when I was playing, I did everything to avoid those head balls.
That is true. No concussions for Mike. Never had to worry about that.
No, and if you remember, Tim, I may have had a really lock of hair.
Tim, it'd be interesting to see if the ref goes for a card here.
I don't think that's a card offense. No. That shoulder to shoulder wasn't dirty. It wasn't really latent from behind. It certainly was a foul, but I don't think it warranted a card. What I'd like to see is our guy, first I think it was Potter, check to see if Riley's open before you lay one off, because he didn't have a ton of pressure on him.
I got to agree with you there.
Guys.
That's where Bot needs to come out and
get that again. He's being very timid on his line right now tonight, Timmy.
He is, I don't know if it's the wind factor or if he's just not seeing the ball really well and doesn't want to take a chance getting off his line. Or, that could be some of coaching. Maybe they've scouted North Park and know what North Park's going to do. They're going to slip a header, try to play it across, and Bot wants to be positioned well for the secondary.
Mike, on a windy night like tonight, does pants for shorts weigh in for a goalie at all? Or what's the thought process there? It looks like North Park's goalie's wearing pants. What's going through Bot's head on this one?
Well, actually, I saw during warm-ups Bot had pants on. initially. So I think the wind is a factor, but it's not cold, it's not chilly, and with the lake effect here, a lot of teams, especially some of the younger players, don't always realize that when you're this close to the lake and you're in Wisconsin, it can get chilly during the day. So Bott knows that. He warms up with the pants and he makes the game call at the time.
Yeah, Lou, I don't think it does have a real big impact on him. I think he just wants to be loose and comfortable, and when you're in goal, that's, I think, what's most important. So Bott has a chance to see what he can do here. We're going to get this ball up past the 50. Win this head ball is important. You don't want to be put back under right away. Give your defense a little bit of a break because they've been running backwards a lot of this half. All right,
like to see them use the right side of the field here a little bit, Tim. Oh, clever move by Chavez. He's going to shot one.
Followed up by Carthage.
Great opportunity there. Chavez with a step over and a quick, decisive strike. It was knuckling down, but the keeper did well to keep it in front of him.
Chavez does have a lot of clever, crafty footwork, and I love when he does his footwork and he's going forward. What I don't like is when he's going lateral, because he's not the fastest guy. He's very quick on his feet, and those moves as he's going forward can be an advantage for him. Those moves lateral, Mike, seem to play to a disadvantage for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think you're right. He's somewhat of a Merlin when he has the ball, and he really can do some amazing things. But we want to see him do it downhill more than left or right.
Yeah, I mean, that one looked like he was smoked through a keyhole, where he just sort of was able to feather past the guy. The guy just, was caught flat-footed, and just able to slip through and get a very good shot off. And I think we almost overran the fact that we wanted to get on the other end of that ball and sort of have a tap-in chance on a rebound. But that happens. So
yeah, that's a great way to explain it. Smoked through a keyhole, Tim.
Wow, you think about what that means, right?
Chavez just not able to. It looks like he drew the foul there.
Again, I think this is well reffed. I'm really happy with. We've seen some games that have just gotten out of control either way, and I think they've controlled well.
Yeah, I think most of the fouls he's called, you haven't seen any really dangerous positions for the ball. A lot of the fouls that he's been calling that are on the foot or a direct kick have been sort of played within the 35s.
Handball there. I was just going to comment that Bakir, he's been one of our best players in the air defensively tonight, but a little misstep on that one.
So here's what I think Carthage
Here they come with some pressure.
Back.
Giles comes up.
Good win by Riley. Yeah, good win by Riley.
Looked like an opportunity there. A lot of space on the right-hand side.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's where Sarmahony's not tight enough to get and be in that action right away.
He should have been 5 to 10 feet ahead of that.
Oh, nice play. Nice drop by Mahoney. Across. Ooh. And couldn't quite get it across. Looks like it's going to be a goal kick. But I did like that build, secondary build. But Mike's right. Sarmahony got pinched a little wide from his running mate up top. And when you're playing that false nine, you want to be in tandem. Again, front to back or left to right. You should know where each other are all the time. So instead of having to look to see where you're playing that ball, that should be a one-touch, no look. What do you think, Mike?
Absolutely. Guys, I'm just wondering, you look at this field, and to me, and I think that's something you noticed right away, Lou, is that this is a wide field. And I think you want to use that, especially with this wind. You want to use this, but control. We don't need long ball passes. We need short passes. You need to switch the field, and we need to have something a little more creative on the front. The goals have been great, the 2 that we scored, but we can't count on those dead ball throw-ins.
Let me comment here. It looks like Chavez is down. He looks like he took one sort of off the left hammy or quad, from what we can tell up here in the booth. Ref did stop the clock. Not like Chavez to be simulating any contact, so my assumption is he's really hurt. Not a guy that wants to come off the field, so he looks like either got a Charlie horse or something like that. Maybe played up high on the thigh. Lou, you've had a couple of those injuries, I'm sure, over the course of your career.
Absolutely, Tim, and definitely doesn't look like simulation. He caught one good there. Looks like he's going to try to walk it off. Seems to be very gingerly.
We'll see what Coach Doman does. You can't afford to have a center midfielder not at his full rate or pace. And, is there someone else we can put in to spell Chavez for the last 10 minutes? Maybe play a little more defensive-minded, try to maintain this 2-1 lead, get Chavez healthy and back in the game in the second half, and pick up our offense again then. So we'll see what Coach Doman decides to do here.
Another outstanding point, Tim.
Picking up on something you said earlier, Mike, about the creativeness offensively and really using the width of the field. So far, I've only seen Austin Bitta.
Nice
clever pass, and they find it. That's a goal. That's a goal.
That is an outstanding goal.
The equalizer right there.
That first ball, that through ball was feathered just perfectly. So
smoking a keyhole, Tim. I mean, that would be
what we call smoking a keyhole, Lou. That's finding a very small seam. That's a brilliant run to stay on sides, not making sort of that straight through run, but sort of fanning out a little bit to stay on sides, and then just a very clever pass across the field to a wide open.
It gets right to the point you made earlier. This is a good teaching point for all the youngsters that are listening. Oh, it looks like Chavez really it seems fine out there right now with a quick step over again and movement. But for the young fans that are watching and listening to this broadcast, that last pass was just beautiful. He didn't even have to look. He got it. He knew he had his player on the left, and once he completed that pass, it was a goal. There was no question about it. All the striker had to do was just tap it into the net, and that's what you like to see out there.
Interesting how we were just commenting on the fact that we'd like to see Carthage understand a little bit more about who they're playing with,
exactly, Tim,
and be able to lay that ball off without having to look up, hold up the play for that split second, which gives the defense a chance to get back and get control of where they're running or what's behind them. That was a perfect example of 3 quick passes that led to a wide open net.
Really unselfish play. This is what we try to teach our kids, right? You could have easily taken a shot there and maybe had a chance to score, but instead he chose to make the great pass. And Mike knows this better than anybody, that sometimes a great assist is better than a great goal.
Yeah, I played with Mike a lot of years. He'd take the goal any day of the week. I'm just kidding, Mike. If you want your name in the paper, you got to score the goals. It's not always about the assists, So that's a very clever play, too.
Wow. Great
he was going to be put through.
He was not going to be fooled on that. Let's see if Carthage can counter here.
Again, though, look at the difference. There were 4 guys running forward inside of our own 25. And when Carthage is running forward with 2 guys, we really need to get our work rate up. Here we go. Here we've got some numbers. We've got 4 guys forward. And had to play it back here at our own 40. Chavez with the ball.
Chavez.
And I think it's Riley out there on the outside. I'd like to see an overlapping run here. Some help. We don't really have anyone to cross the ball to right now. So what's he going to put it into? It's going to be one of these balls that maybe Chavez can run on too late on the top of 18 and get a good shot off. But North Park does win the ball back out of trouble. Wow. Sort of
again, once again, good decision by the ref to let them play on.
I'll tell you what,
pretty clean.
This ref is much like what you'd see in a more of a professional league, like a UEFA or
Towson with a nice move. Oh, that's going to be
Premier League
called.
That's possibly a booking, Tim.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll book him here, but I think they'll settle
what the ref just did, Mike? He just basically pointed at the guy and gave him a warning and just said no more. And I really like that from a ref because he didn't call one that might have been able to be called in front of the North Park bench against Carthage. That was another hard foul, but nothing really dirty about it. So I do like the way this ref has called this game. I think both teams can really appreciate a guy that's put this much work into his craft.
Guys, you've played on both the artificial turf, the synthetic grass, and actual grass. Any difference in how it feels when the body hits the ground like that?
I'll let you answer first because you're on the ground a lot more than I was known to be up in the air a lot.
Wow, another very dangerous opportunity with speed, but well defended.
Towson is, that's what I was surprised. See, Towson did really use his body. It was here where he fell down at the 40, really trying to scrape and get back and sort of get in front of the play. That he was on the ground, and that's one of our better defenders, and that's when they ended up getting that through ball through. So you really need Towson on his feet and playing that back line and really being that steadying force back there. But getting back to that point, Mike.
Getting back to your important question, Mike, as a guy who has spent some time on the ground and putting players on the ground, I think really the one thing I noticed is you got the turf seems to be a little less forgiving, if you can believe it, and you tend to get a little bit worse rug burns. The natural grass will tend to give way, and I've definitely ripped some skin off going down hard on the turf, so that's something to think about.
I'll tell you what, they've done a really nice job with this playing surface here at our Keller, and most of the ones I played on in my past. So the ones outside of some indoor fields, these are pretty well cushioned. I think they play true. I think they give you a little give.
Dead ball throw in, Tim. What we were seeing.
Another one by Towson.
Nice
back post.
Ooh, on the back post. It looks like we're going to earn a corner. Is that I think it's
going to be a corner.
It's going to be a corner.
Maybe we can work this into another long throw-in.
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if they went short.
6 minutes left here in the first half. 6 minutes left in the first. For those watching at home, we've got a corner here coming from the west flag. Playing a little bit with the wind here. Again, like to see this ball between the 6 and the 12 to be very dangerous.
Giles gets his head on it.
Giles again getting his head on it. He's had a lot of opportunities here. He's done a great job winning balls in the air in the attacking third of the field.
Yeah, we've said Giles' name quite a bit, and if I'm correct, he's a freshman this year, so it's good to see some of the younger guys really stepping up today.
Now, Mike, you played with I know this is a Giles Phillip, you played with a Brian Giles, both of you did, a great midfielder back at Naperville North, almost came to Carthage, but elected to go to Northern Kentucky. How do you size up these two guys? Giles Phillips a little taller, but they have a lot of that same heart and passion. What do you think?
They do. Unfortunately, even though I played with Brian Giles, I think I'd take Giles Phillips any day and twice on Sunday.
Wow, Brian, if he's listening, if you're listening at home, text us and let us know how you feel about that comment. Mike is laughing up here in the booth. I doubt he means that seriously, but maybe only 5 days out of the week, huh? Lou, what did you think?
Little miscommunication there, and looks like Townsend got a little bit lucky with that pass. I like the idea to cross there. We're just not using the width of the field as much as we'd like to see him. I'd like to see him come back this way now, move the ball around and get it wide to Townsend.
I think as all three of us being midfielders, we'd love to see our team spread to give us more room to operate in the middle.
Very nice development.
Oh, I'd like to see a dummy there or a little heel pass, because we did have Townsend on that back end, and he does have great speed, and he pretty crafty with the ball as well.
That's 2 times Mahoney had maybe an opportunity to keep the play building, but decided to bring it back, and hopefully we can keep him moving forward here.
I do get nervous when Townsend gets stuck going upfield. I just feel like he's at steady.
Real nice ball by Chavez.
And we need to get that ball settled down. We need to start playing the ball on the ground, though. That's a lot to do with your back to the goal to settle and feel comfortable that you don't have someone breathing all down your neck, Lou. Mike, you played up front, and you know how that feels.
I agree, and as a forward, that's you're trained to go for the goal, and you're trained to try to score, and that's a nice intercept there from Bitta.
And a nice job getting right back on his feet. Sar Mahoney needs to make something out of this. Get up, Sar. There you go. All right. Way to stay with the ball, but Mike, you were saying?
You guys know, you both have 2 young sons that are playing soccer now, and you've coached both of them. I mean, it's basics, really. A lot of this is that we're talking about, and sometimes you forget about the basics, and we get caught up in kind of the
clever.
Oh, here's a giveaway.
And if you look at mostly what the best players in the world do, they're very adept with their touch. They're very clever. They see the field really well, and that's one of the lost arts, I think, at maybe this level of soccer, is really that sort of sixth sense.
Carthage with a big counter opportunity here. They've got numbers going forward. I'd like to see him find him.
And we lost the ball.
Just can't connect the through ball.
I'm not sure that was the best option for us going through like that. North Park had the middle clogged up. Looks like we had some runners and maybe a 2-man option here on the near side of the field. So North Park doing a steady build here, gets across the midfield. Plays it forward, and we got a little bit of a foul. I think we do have a listener on the line here. Brian Giles was paying attention to, I think, Mike Dolman's comments. So let's see what he's got to say. Incredible. Brian, not very happy with your comment about his play.
The one thing that I want to do here is just be honest with everybody. And
Giles Phillips is in much better shape than our Brian Giles. But I was asked at the time you played with him, just so you know if I could reference that correctly. Again, North Park sort of building up inside the Carthage.
You really want to make sure Carthage holds
under 2 minutes to play here.
Position in the back right now, Tim, and stays organized. You'd hate to see him give up a goal in the last minute and 45 here.
Yeah, going into halftime, these are those ones that are just real disheartening. You play a real strong game. You maybe not had your best foot forward. Maybe you're leaning back a little bit, but you definitely earned your way into at least a tie at halftime. You're not deserving to be under, and that's the last thing.
To go long ball. Yeah,
look at Mahoney's speed, and the goalie comes out, and
very
what a
aggressive play by the goal.
Got a minute and a half left here, guys.
That looked like simulation to me, Tim.
Lou, that reminded me. Our sons play soccer together, and they both sort of play a similar position. But Mikey's a great attacker on the left side, so you're seeing some of those combos that we're trying to teach Aiden and Mikey to do. And I hope they're watching this game and seeing what some of the good things to point out, and some of the things that even kids at this level need to work at. So
if there's one play you'd point out to Aiden Burke, which would it be that really epitomized what we're trying to teach the kids?
Well, for Aiden and what I think he'll do in his future is probably play more of that Chavez role, sort of that attacking or defensive midfielder play, where you need to own the ball in the middle. You have to win the head balls. You have to be stout defensively, and you need to be able to have that sixth sense of where your teammates are and be able to play very clever, crafty balls. Let's get back to the action here real quick. 30 seconds left.
Do you think the referee has, is he going to pull out the spray can to mark off this 10 feet here or not?
It's 10 yards, but this is a very dangerous situation. Carthage trying to let that clock dwindle.
Trying to move that wall back.
Carthage should stall this out as much as possible. 20 seconds. Ref did stop the clock. Very dangerous situation here. We're looking at a ball from about 25
really
yards out.
Momentum builder going into the.
Oh, it's on.
And it's just off net. A very low ball played in. I think Bot was all over if it was on the net. But again, a very dangerous opportunity sent forward from North Park.
And Lou, to get back to your comment, typically when we play at home here at Carthage, you've noticed that you've got the football lines and you've got the lacrosse lines. So you've got a lot of quantitative measurements out here. You don't have to use the spray, the foam, if you will. So,
Mike, that is a point I didn't think you would come up with today.
Well,
tonight.
I got it. Yeah, I got
it. Incredible. So
Mahoney's stopping to try to get some of the linesman's attention. You wonder what he's saying.
He's probably talking about that play really early in the half where the guy was, a full foot over the line. But to bring you up to speed here, we're at halftime. It's 2-2, a contest that I think we all sort of predicted. It would be up and down. Both teams would try to sort of attack, maybe in a different way. I do like how North Park has played up front, Lou. I don't know how you size up what they've done. Talk about what North Park is doing and trying to do offensively.
I think what I've seen more out of North Park is not only have they gotten a few more players forward on the counterattack, but just much more creative in the runs, Tim, and they've been able to execute some of those passes that have led to dangerous opportunities. I've seen some more creative runs, getting the ball diagonally, making that diagonal run to stay on sides, using some of their speed. That's been something that I think they've done better. Carthage has obviously capitalized.
Let me go to Mike real quickly on Carthage. So, and I want to get back to you on how we're going to play this game defensively in the second half and maybe offensively. So, Lou brought up some good points. What we've seen North Park do really well, and given some of the speed of Carthage, Mike, where do you think they could do a better job up front getting either more creative and getting more opportunities at goal? What do you think they really need to work on here in the second half?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the dead ball, the throw-ins, those have been great. But I think where I'm wanting, and if I'm Coach Doman, I just say you got to settle down. I think
you play a couple of the goals here, Mike. Look at Phillips get up, and that was
his goal, and you can tell that was definitely behind the line.
Okay, so getting back to your comments, Mike.
I think you mentioned it earlier, Mahoney on the side here, and I think Ivan maybe tried to thread something a little.
Let's just watch this real quick. Sorry, Mike, but just watch the passing here. Just a beautiful layoff.
Knowing where your teammate is.
Right in the net.
And you guys know, as a forward and as a goal scorer, even that ball that they just tucked in, it's not that easy. That came in bouncing, and he still had to kind of get it on net, even though it was a fairly open netter. It was a beautiful goal. Unfortunately, it just wasn't for the right team.
Yeah, so Jen, so sizing up the action. So I think you both bring up some good points. I think North Park isn't going to change a lot of what they're doing. I think they've got Carthage stretched pretty wide on the back line. I would like to see the way North Park's attacking. I wouldn't mind seeing Coach Doman try to squeeze his back line a little tighter, not get wider than the 18, because we seem to be good when that ball is crossed, winning that ball out. What we don't seem to be really good at is keeping tight enough to not let that through ball go up the middle. All of North Park's opportunities this half have all come up the middle, the easiest way to the goal. It's harder, as Mike just pointed out, to get the ball, cross it, and have to have a guy on the other end of it make a pretty hard shot, whether it be from the head or a one-timer, settle the ball and then shoot it. So those things, I think, are things Carthage needs to figure out. Tighten up in the back line, not let them come so direct. And then offensively, I think Carthage needs to stretch North Park's back line out a little bit. So some great points you guys brought up.
I mean, it's been it's definitely been the exciting game we were looking and hoping for. I mean, a couple of us predicted a 2-1 victory. We're sitting at 2-2 at halftime. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say I think there's going to be a couple more goals in this game before it's all said and done. And this is exactly what we're looking for. I've been pretty pleased with the work rate by both teams. A lot of speed out there on the field. And it reminds me a little bit of the Leicester City type style of play where we're willing to get offense and get forward.
Yeah, Lou. And it looks like Carthage is going to have an advantage with the wind. I don't know how. We're not at the field level. We can look at the flags. It is going a little bit, again, left to right or west to east, so coming towards the near side of the field. But I'm looking at the flags on the goalposts, and I see them sort of bending out and going north, which is the direction Carthage is going to be heading. So do you think that plays into an advantage, or does Carthage run a lot of balls off the table trying to play that through ball?
Yeah, it's definitely something they got to be conscious of. They've got to watch and play with the wind carefully. I'd like to see them attack more through the middle, to be honest, Tim. Just like we said,
widen out, but
widen out and then attack with some quick, short balls through the middle rather than relying on the long ball, and see if they can create any opportunities that way. If you think about it, the Redmen really weren't able to get many shots off, if any, on goal during that half.
No.
Bideb took a shot that got deflected early. Nothing really on target, so all the opportunities came on those dangerous throw-ins and the flick ball and the header. You contrast that with what North Park did coming up the middle and actually getting a lot of shots, and luckily I think our keeper, Bott, actually settled in, and you saw him make a couple of quick reflexive saves that helped keep this game square at 2-2.
Yeah, and then you know what I did like, and you had mentioned it earlier in the game, you'd like to see Bott play a little more out of his box. Maybe he's not that comfortable with his feet, so we'll have to get a better understanding from maybe Coach C.J. Bachman after the game. But what I liked about what North Park's keeper did, he basically saved a goal from happening when he was all the way out past his own 30 and came out and played that head ball. Because Sar Mahoney had about 3 yards on the defender, even starting 5 yards behind him. So Mahoney's the guy that we should look to, maybe playing a similar ball that North Park scored that second goal on. What do you think?
Absolutely, Tim. I think that's dead on. And, we'll see if that happens at all in the second half and if Bott is a little bit more willing to come off that line. The other thing I'm really interested in is I haven't seen Steve Doman been too active on the bench, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds at halftime here and whether he gets a little bit more active talking to the players.
All right, let me go to Mike here. A couple things. One, I think we want to get to some CCIW, the table, know what kind of action's been going on tonight. One thing I do want to get your focus on, I know you were sort of watching about the cycling of the players. Did you see a lot of substitutions? I couldn't really tell. I was trying to watch the pace of play, but I know you always have a strong angle on that, seeing what kind of reflexive actions Coach Doman's taking to take advantage of situations.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the year, Tim, you're not going to get a lot of substitutions. I mean, you've got your horses out there, and you want them out there for the entire game. So I think we had 2 aside, possibly maybe 1 for Carthage and 2 for North Park. So okay. I don't think you want to change the chemistry too much. I mean, hey, we're all deep, and we've got great players out there. But I think with this wind, you want to get the people that are in there, you want to keep them in there and make sure that they continue. And I want to just step back a little bit, and outside of this game, guys, if we look at kind of how this sets up for the CCIW, and I don't know if you've had a chance to really look at it, but, the top 3 teams, Wheaton, Carthage, and North Park, and John just pulled it up. Appreciate that, John, right on it.
Good job, John. Production has done a great job tonight.
It's been great. Yeah, they've always been great.
I'd love to see us on camera here so the crowd could see really what they're operating with here in the booth.
Yeah, so if I kind of go back to what I was talking about, you look at, you've got Wheaton at the top, and we're tied with Carthage. Obviously, Wheaton's got the tiebreaker since they won last week. But you've got North Park at 2-1. But if you look at the overall records for the final 5 teams, not a single one of them has a winning record. So, the CCIW may be down just a little bit this year, and we should all probably at Carthage capitalize on this. But tonight we've got Milliken playing North Central. I'm sorry, Milliken playing Illinois Wesleyan. So 2 teams that are 0-3 and 1-3. At this point, Tim, do they have a chance to still make the conference tournament? Or
Mike, looking back at last year, we sat up in this booth and we broadcast that incredible Wheaton win, and thought there was no chance Carthage had of keeping themselves out of playing in the CCIW tournament. And they lost 4 games, 3 of them by 1 goal, 2 of them in overtime. So stranger things have happened. Milliken doesn't really look poised with that 0-3 record. Wesleyan does have one on the board, but they only have 3 more games to play. They'd really have to go sort of barn buster here to get back into the table here and play in the tournament.
Well, Milliken's up 2-0 at half over Illinois Wesleyan. So that really if Milliken pulls that game out, that puts both of them at 1-3 and 1-4, I guess, at the end of the day. That keeps those two there. If you go to the other game, Augie and North Central, they started a little later tonight. They started at 8 o'clock. I'm sure that has to do with probably broadcasting and TV time. But they're at 0-0 at 25 left. So that we want to keep an eye on because North Central, we're going to be racing with them regardless of what happens tonight.
Elmhurst, we've already played North Central. We have that head-to-head tiebreaker, I believe, right? We have not played Elmhurst yet, I don't believe. I'd have to look again at the schedule, but I think we usually play them late in the year. And that is much like a North Park game. That is always very physical. Elmhurst has quite often got very good speed, Lou. I don't know who I'd rather see win that game if it meant, something that Carthage had to fight for at the end of the year. How do you size that up? North Central
I go back to some of Coach Doman's comments after the Augustana game this past weekend where he said, look, I think our team realized when we jumped up to a 3-0 lead, we thought maybe we were going to run away with this one, but as you saw in that game, Augustana got themselves right back into the game, and Coach Doman was quoted as saying, I don't think there's anybody in this conference that's just going to go away and allow themselves to be beat early. So you look at even these guys at the bottom of the table right now. Every game you got to come ready to play, and when you get the leads, you can't have the defensive letdowns that we had here that allowed North Park to get back into this game.
So Mike, it is interesting to look. You got a North Central team 3-11. Did play Carthage pretty tough. I mean 3-11. Two of those wins coming in the conference. So really sort of a 1-10 team outside of the conference. So I don't know how I really feel about that team. I didn't see that game. I did read some of the stats, and it was relatively even. Elmhurst has always scared me since they sort of developed that program, I'd say in the last 7 to 8 years, and really got stout and had some chances to be at the top of the table in a few years. So Elmhurst does scare me. We do have to play them. I think this is a critical game for both North Park and Carthage. The winner of this one, I think, has a really clear path to at least making the conference tourney, and I think both of them are really fighting to be at the top. Want that home game early on.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tim. And you mentioned Elmhurst, and Elmhurst actually beat Wheaton this year 2-1. The stats were probably in favor of Wheaton, but they still pulled it out, and that's going to happen, every now and then in a CCIW match. So you're right, Elmhurst is somebody we got to watch out for. I'm glad that we got the tiebreaker on them because that becomes pretty important down the line here.
Yeah, so we're looking at about 4 minutes. The teams look like they're sort of coming out of the locker rooms. Those brand new Carthage locker rooms, gorgeous. Wish we had those back when we were playing. You remember Paul Bruni, one of our old left backs? He would probably die for a locker room like that. He liked to take that nap mid-game, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He came from Waukesha, Wisconsin, and he came out here, and I know he would talk about the locker rooms that they had back at Waukesha, and they were pretty impressive, so I'm sure he'd be happy to see these.
Mike, I don't know if you remember. Your memory's never been as good as mine, but Paul Bruni hit one of the best shots I've seen in a critical match at North Central, playing in that back field, not the current stadium field. Ball laid back, Paul from about the 20-yard line, so probably in soccer terms about 28 yards out, just hit a left-footed rocket into the upper 90, and I think that was the I don't know if that was the lone goal, but that definitely did qualify for the winner in that match.
Mike, as North Park begins to take the field again and come out of their huddle, what do you make of the body language that you see, and what about some of the stretching that you see going on out there?
Well, it's a good point about the stretching, Lou. I mean, it's 15 minutes, and that's all you really have. But 15 minutes is a long time to tighten up. And I think, for these guys, they're young, they're used to, their bodies are limber. For some of the other players, from the seniors, those are the guys that need to watch out. They need to continue to stretch because they're getting older. Let's face it, they're not as limber and as spruce as they were. And you can see. You can look at Giles coming in right now, 22. He's dancing to the music. He's enjoying himself out there. And this is fun to see. This is really
You like
fun.
to see that looseness, but you hope they come out with a little fire and try to grab an early goal here. And then
I would like them to. I mean, the crowd has been pretty good, pretty active tonight. Looking out, it looks like about 250. No one on the far side. Everyone here on the near side of the field. So tough for the fans to see that are watching online. And if we could, we'd love to get you out here at our Keller Field to see this action live. But thanks for checking in here. Both teams are coming back on the field. I think there is a little bounce in Carthage's step right now. I think they got sort of I don't know if it would be a stern talking to from Coach Doman and Coach Bachman. But I think they were told they need to they need to get that ball under control because it is tough to play soccer if you can't trap the ball. It's just very hard.
Guys, we got a 2-2 game. We're obviously a biased group up here. We're heavily leaning towards Carthage. What kind of scorecard would you give each one of these teams, and who do you think has got the advantage just on that short 45 minutes?
Here's where I go. I don't know if I can give a clean scorecard to one or the other, but what I would say if I had to give sort of levels of the field, I'd give the big advantage to North Park up front right now. I'd give Carthage a little across the midfield, and both of them playing about even in the back line, and the goalie's about even. So, again, the strength of Carthage, the midfield, so they need to possess the ball. Strength of North Park has been that attacking front.
They need to possess, and they need to connect on a couple of those passes that they were trying to make the diagonal pass or the creative pass that weren't able to connect in the first half. And I totally agree with Tim on this one. I'd have to say, like I mentioned earlier, North Park, I think, had a few more dangerous opportunities, and we were lucky, thanks to Bot coming up, to be level here at 2-2. So it's really a fresh new game. It's a new half. There's a nice wind coming out of the northwest, and it'll be interesting to see.
Let me go to Mike before the half starts. So we were talking to Dr. Bond a little bit before the game, and he's a man that really loves soccer. He's done a great job with the facilities here. If you look around this campus to know how it's changed since 1995, and when some of us got here, it's just gorgeous. So, what do you think he's thinking of the action tonight?
Well, I think if I know Bob as well as I do and really got to know him, obviously here as an athletic director, but personally as well, I think he's probably enjoying that there's a couple of goals. He's one of these, true Americans that think that the game of soccer should be played at a higher number. By that I mean 5-4, 6-4. I don't know. Not so
defensive-minded, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him, but hey, you look around here. He's obviously a smart guy. This is a business, and he knows what sells, and I think we can't ignore that.
I'm with Bob. I'd love to see our brand of soccer get to a 5-6 goals. That's what we used to do back when we played, and it's just a fun night to score a lot of goals is very fun for the fans and a lot of the action. One of the things. We're about to kick off the second half here, so welcome back for those that took a little break to go grab a sandwich or tune into that Cubs-Mets game. I have no idea what that score is. Welcome back to the action, 2-2. Very important game here for both teams as we look to see who's going to come out on top here. Right away, Carthage gives the ball away, and I can't make Coach Doman happy. I'm sure he talked about that early in the game. Not making mental errors and physical errors that put your team under. You can make those up front, Lou. We just talked about it. You cannot make those same mistakes in between the 40s. Now, Mahoney does some great work to win the ball, Mike, but then it's just a looser ball played upfield.
No, you're right. And don't forget, Mahoney is a young player. He's still just trying to figure out where
going down again.
Chavez with that clever footwork. The ball, though, the play was trying to come outside. He would try to go right through the player, but he's going to earn us a very deadly 30-yard free kick here. And he's going to bowl that up to the 29, just like a center in football.
I think that goes back to our comment about stretching, Lou. I mean, it's Ivan's a senior this year, and we've seen him on the ground probably more often than some of the other guys, and so he's going to want to be careful.
Ball played in. Giles Phillips tries to get a head on it, and ball played out. Sarah Mahoney looks like he's going to win that ball. I think we're going to try that throw in. It looked like Mahoney could have gotten to it. Normally I'd say get it, but the way Towson's throwing that ball in,
slowly making
he's our biggest weapon we have tonight.
Any predictions here, guys?
Can they do it 3 times, guys? I don't know.
Giles Phillips sort of playing near post. Surprised he's not a little tighter into the center of the goal, given how Towson's throwing the ball.
It's another ball.
Wow, a beautiful ball.
Incredible ball played.
You'd have to think North Park's coaching staff really focused on. If they focused on anything at halftime, that'd be the adjustment that they need.
And when have you ever heard that in a soccer game? Yeah.
Guys, question for you on kind of the backside there. You saw how that ball kind of came through the middle, it bounced off, and we didn't really have anybody on the backside. Is that something that you want to control and maybe have somebody back there, or do you just leave that open?
Here goes Towson again.
Yeah, I don't think you ever want to leave anything wide open. Unbelievable. You got that backside. Bitta plays it back in and easily headed away by North Park. And they're already out with numbers, Mike. That's what they've done a good job. When they attack with numbers.
Towson gets his legs taken out from under him. Good sportsmanship.
I don't think that was legit. I think he was backing up to see if he could get up to, and Towson just made that early leap. And it never feels good to get undercut, though.
I like the decision to go quick here, and I'd like to see us go wide again, but we choose to go up through the middle. A little flick.
I think that's what Phillips has to know to play wider. He can't really put that on net. He's got to play that across, almost diagonal, if you will. North Park punting the ball out.
Big punt.
And Carthage wins it, but doesn't win it clean, and then wins the ball back.
Strong play in the midfield there.
So we'll see what Carthage can do. We have a few more whistles in this half already than it seemed like we did all first half. So the ref again's done a great job, I think, calling the action tonight. And I've rarely said that in my career, Mike. And it looks like he pulls up lame. I didn't see any foul, and I don't think he was simulating. So I think he just sort of pulled up with a hammy or a quad there, it looked like, Lou. That through ball.
I think he was hoping to get a call there, Tim,
so?
And
simulating a little action.
Fortunately, I think the ref got it right once again. It's been a well-officiated game.
Bot with a big kick, biggest of the night. You can see that wind is playing because he was not getting that ball out, and he was
Chavez.
If you recall, Bot was playing a lot of short.
Very clever by Chavez.
That should have been a foul.
Got to run through that.
He definitely did get fouled, but the ref, again, he's letting a lot of physical play go. So as long as he's doing it for both teams, I don't think either team can complain.
Chavez like a high kick there. Was that?
A high kick, yeah. So we got that one. I'd like to take the one here at the 20, which is a little more favorable spot.
I'd like to see us go wide, Timmy, out on that left side right now.
Look at how North Park is hanging, though.
Pass,
hanging
a little bit
there.
Too far.
They're not letting that easy ball played out to the wings. They're not letting us get wide because they don't want to be susceptible
they come on the counter
to that middle.
With speed.
Being wide open.
Good defensive play.
Oh, no. This is what happened earlier.
Very dangerous. Wow.
Wow. Tausindo's at Bida, and that rarely happens. Those guys work really hard. It looks like he just lost his footing. And North Park was on their front foot, and we were a little on our back foot there. Wow, that's the second dangerous chance so far for North Park this half already.
Update you on that Cubs score, Tim. It's bottom of the fourth, and the Cubs are down 6-0.
Well, Mike, not being a Cubs fan, so for those on the online that are watching that are Cubs fans, feel for you, but it's not gonna rain on my parade today.
No.
So how do you feel about the Cubs?
Quick flick. I could do without them either way. Yeah, it's good to see the city get energized about it, but I think a lot of people were thinking they won the World Series when they won the divisional championship, and I'd like to see Carthage again build here.
Look at Mahoney. He has got just great speed.
He really has some speed, but that ball is not going to be something that's going to be too dangerous for the DVF. Tim, if you think about it, that's kind of what you said defensively. We're okay giving him that ball deep into the corner there and like to play a little tighter in the middle. But
what I'm really surprised at, Lou, is we don't have any target player coming forward for the ball. We're always running away.
Clever run there.
Clever. That's going to be off the table, maybe? Yeah, it looks like it's off the table. But a nice ball played forward. Again, attacking with 4, we're attacking with 2 a lot of times, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
The numbers are very rarely in our favor when we attack. And when North Park attacks, even if they don't get forward, what they are able to do is pin us deep and try to take away that easy ball out from our back line. And we're not having that same fortune.
Yeah, I agree, Tim. That's what makes me nervous. When you've got four players going forward and attack, and one of them.
Here we go. Let's see.
Watch.
Good. Like I said earlier, Bid is the only guy that's willing to make that cross-field controlled pass to get us wide. He's done it over and over again today. Unfortunately,
you see how North Park is. Look like they have an extra guy in the field. Sometimes they are really getting out to the wings to shut anything down, and they are collapsing the middle, which is usually you have to give up one or the other. Mike, how are they doing that?
I don't know. They're just a little more organized than we are right now, and I'm hoping that the wind changes that, but I haven't seen that yet. That's concerning me.
Okay. So, again, North Park would be attacking. That's what they're getting, Mike. If you watch, I'm not sure who's right in the middle of the field on the 30 there, but he is immediately changing his direction. He is planting that foot in the ground. A lot of what we teach the kids, Lou, is if you can't change direction, you can't trap the ball in soccer, you're going to have a hard time playing the sport competitively. It's 2 of the key things to do to play winning brand of soccer. Hopefully you keep that ball in and play it off of North Park player.
Clever.
Carey's been real strong in the back today, Tim. I've liked what I've seen out of him.
The ball looked like it was a close out of bounds. Can Bakary win that? Look at all that English on that ball. Riley with the ball. We need to just get that ball out. We can't lose the ball there again inside our own 30.
This is where they're dangerous.
Ooh.
Wow. I don't know if that's so much a yellow card.
I don't know if I
surprising that the ref reaches for the make his first booking in the game, and that's going to go to
really
Chavez.
Surprised. It wasn't a real blatant foul. It looks like he was trying to win the ball, and did clip him from behind, but not sure it warranted a card given some of the action we've seen tonight. But the ref felt he was warranted. He's had a good game, so he's a little closer to the action. So
he's going to walk off 10 yards here, Tim, and this could be a real dangerous opportunity.
They put one on the front early, Mike, and we have a better angle on this shot. We don't know how far wide that one was in the late in this first half. It looks like the same guy taking this, and that far side is not really is covered by Bot. So let's see if he goes near post here. And he does, and gets a ball right on target. Bot didn't feel comfortable catching that ball, and I'd rather him feel comfortable punching it away.
That ball was dipping quickly.
Wow, it was another nice free kick. Ball on net.
I'd love to see a replay on that one. That was a really nice dipping ball right over the wall.
Maybe we can see if John can run a replay on that when the action goes dark here.
It came straight in at the keeper. I'm sure the striker there was looking to put it into one of the corners, either far side or near side.
So, Lou, about 8 minutes into the action, North Park's had their third good chance of the
They decided to go short corner.
And it's put in.
Very good opportunity. Hits the post.
Wow.
Offsides. We got an offsides call, I think.
Wow.
Wow, real lucky there.
They're offsides, yeah.
No, they're
offsides.
Is it okay?
No, they called it. Yeah, offsides.
Yeah, both guys were offsides back in North Park, but what a great short corner, Lou. And you called it. It's the third time they've done that short corner.
Absolutely.
First time it's really worked to get a good percentage shot. But again, Mike, the fourth opportunity for North Park already in this half, and I'm not sure if Carthage has had the ball under the 20 yet. No. So we need to get our footing. We're on our back foot right now, and it'd be nice if we could get the ball out of trouble, settle the pace of the game, and start to move the ball a little. I think we're playing sort of a little more of a too wide open brand of soccer, and it's stretching us and getting us to make a few more fouls than we'd like. So
very nice move by Mahoney.
See, this is kind of what we were talking about. We're not giving our guys enough time.
Very good. Find him on the weak side.
Very good by Chavez. And can we get that in? And Potter on the back.
That's exactly the type of play that we're looking for. One of the best developing plays for Carthage.
That is certainly the best development all game. That's the first time outside of a throw where I think we really felt dangerous. That ball with Chavez was played very nice with the outside of the foot. Very clever, crafty, and if we could have run on, maybe if that ball was played a little more towards the 5-yard line as we see it here, and maybe a one-timer versus having to settle that ball or playing it across.
Yeah, that's great.
So Chavez with the corner here. Let's see if we can get dangerous.
It's a nice ball.
It's a great ball to the back.
Oh boy. We didn't have anyone there on the 12, which is usually where you have one or two guys.
Good idea by Bitta trying to go wide outside there. Let's see if we can get a jersey pull. Great turn.
We won the ball.
See, Tim, we seem to be going with a lot of long ball up the middle right now, just looking maybe to target.
I feel like we're playing a very direct brand of soccer, and I said it's very wide open. I don't know if that favors Carthage so much. I don't see an overwhelming advantage with speed other than maybe Sar Mahoney and maybe and it looks like there's an injury on the field, and maybe Towson, but Towson's playing in the back, so Sar Mahoney's our big option.
It almost seems that that's the strategy right now, is they're sending him to the corners on a lot of long balls, and I'd like to see them build with more short ball passing through the middle and see what kind of opportunities open up.
I haven't played with Mike for a lot of years. It was one of those things where we got a real good feel for where each other were, and that sixth sense that we talked about in the first half. I don't really see it happening at all here for Carthage, and North Park's already feathered a couple balls where, whether it was no look or it was just done knowing a guy should be there, and you just played a space knowing there should be someone making that run. I'm not yet seeing that with Carthage, who likes to play to feet a lot.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tim. It's something that you overlook, and I just take for granted because I played with you for so many years. But there's a little bit of a disconnect between a couple of the lines here, and you wonder if because there's such a spread between the seniors and the freshmen, and you just don't have as many sophomores and juniors on the team right now, or at least on the starting line.
Wow, another pretty good build. Notice here, we're getting that ball. I think it's Potter here, number 25.
Potter, yeah.
He's got to get a lot stronger on the ball or a lot quicker releasing it. Even if he's got to get the ball up a line out of danger, it's better than giving the ball up on your side of midfield. That puts you immediately under and has your defense again playing a defensive brand of soccer rather than moving upfield in a supportive role to help out your offense.
What are they calling here? Is that a
late call
handball?
there. They're going to give
Looks
that
like a handball. I mean,
Mike.
we had one at the other end, so it looks like it's a little bit of a makeup call. Pretty innocuous, but it is what it is. If he trapped it with his arm,
Yeah, that's a good point, Tim. Do you think that does happen in college soccer, that the ref will give makeup calls?
I don't know. It looked like it probably was the right call, but I'm sure it happens, and maybe it's not the men, and maybe it's more subconscious, but I think it happens in any sport and in any walk of life.
Developing quickly with speed out of the back here.
I love that
Beautiful
ball.
Little too much.
Beautiful ball, little too much on it.
Boy, again, there's that Carthage bias. So sorry for you North Park fans that are watching the game. You hear me with a little so a little wind out of the sails there.
Carey
Couldn't
just
control the ball
strong
again.
from the back once again, and again, I like his thought process on that pass.
Starting to get a little bit more aggressive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think this is what I saw in the Wheaton game last week, where we were stretched a little thin. You're seeing a lot of space between the defense and the midfield and our forwards. They're starting to get 25, 30 yards of space, and that's a lot of ground to cover, so the easy thing to do is to grab someone, clip them from behind, professional foul. But the more of these that happen, the more North Park gets the ball under and has dangerous opportunities like that one sent into our box.
Well, you bring up
Here he goes.
You bring up a good point about the Wheaton game, Tim, and I know that the score of that game was 4-1, and I know you traveled with the team to watch that game. I was in Houston recruiting. Was
Here's a good build, Mike. We'll get back to your story.
Great
Get on the end of that. You got to go harder. Oh, you're right, Mike. As a guy that has 40 career goals, you know that you have to have a nose for the net. You're inside the box. You have to win. Both the defender and offender know they have to get to that ball, and you've got to have that want and that desire just to step out of your competition there. Back to your we'll do that after the corner kick here. Chavez put that last one right on the dime here. Let's see if he can feather that ball again between the 6 and the 12 and get Giles Phillips to get on the end of that.
A little bit more.
An opportunity to run right through that ball. Great job, Chavez.
A lot of time for Chavez.
I'd like to see
and
a
I
nice
knew that was coming. And Chavez with the left, a nice bending ball in. But played out. Chavez.
It's going to be off of North Park. That'll be
great play by Chavez. I think he could have made this play, but I think he's going to wait for Towson, and we got the big long throw. Giles Phillips going in the box. Sar Mahoney can get up. I think you have Mahoney. You have Mahoney out there. You have Giles Phillips. Who else can get on the back end of this ball? I think I'd like to see Chavez on top of the box just in case that ball gets kicked out. What another incredible throw. There he is. Dangerous. Can he get a shot off?
Oh, we got it right in the front edge.
Offside. The flag is up. The flag is up. It looks like it was deflected.
Wow, I want to see a replay of that. I think so. I want to see a replay of that. It looked like there was someone on that back post. I even remember. It looked like Dalamis looked back to even see if there was someone there. Plus, that ball was deflected. I know they have some new rules here that weren't around when we played, Mike, where you can't be in offside position even if the ball is played off of a defender, even if it's deflected. So that is the right judgment if, in fact, he was offsides, which I still would like to see a replay on. So maybe John there in production can give us a replay on that as well.
Oh, here we go.
He has a chance at a break win.
Just
22 closed him down with some good speed of his own here. So, wow, some opened up play here from both teams here. End-to-end action. If you like that brand of soccer, Bob Bond, you're seeing it right now.
When you think, here's the replay, Tim, on that. Let's see.
Watch see if
the
he gets
shot.
himself.
Chavez puts it under, so
definitely deflected. He was off.
That's pretty close, Mike. That is pretty close. If we could get another angle on that, maybe some camera work later in the game. I'd love to see that
great
more
stuff
from
by John to get that out really quickly.
Wow, John, great job in the room.
It was hard to see, but it looked like from that angle it might have been the right call, guys.
Wow, and again, these guys have had a great game.
Chavez, that's going to be a corner kick.
It should be a corner. Let's see what he does. Yeah, it's a corner kick.
Mike,
guys, does it matter at all if the game ends at a 2-2 tie, but we have more corner kicks and less offsides? Does that have any impact on the results?
No, Mike. But that's great. I mean, that is a cunning analysis by you once again.
A lot of substitutions here from North Park. They got 3 guys coming in, making a wholesale defensive change. It looks like. Mike, when you think about Townsend's throw-ins. Is that more based on upper body strength or technique that allows him to throw the ball that far?
Oh, it's both. I mean, let's be honest.
Interesting ball. Low. Very clever, but watch out on the counterattack here. Very clever play.
Who was that
by the
on that
Redmen?
I couldn't get a number on the shot. It looked like
Chavez with some
fancy
real
footwork.
fancy
Can Riley get around
Good
him?
speed by Riley.
a little
Gets
bit of a
bumped.
box out.
That's going to be another corner. No!
Wow.
Not sure I read that one right, but he's right on the action. We're a little higher up in the booth, but looked like that was played off of a Viking defender. But again, can't say much about the officiating. It's been really great tonight.
It's been great.
About halfway through the action here, Mike. What how are you sizing this up? Carthage had the better of the run here in the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say actually the last 15 or so has really favored Carthage. I think North Park came out. They continued that same flow and dominance, and I think Carthage is now getting energized. If you look at our record, Carthage is a home team. I mean, we've really lost most of our games.
Great
on the
ball
road.
to Potter to keep him out wide. Look at the nice build here, Tim. Like to bring it back, control through the middle. Chavez.
A little obstructed, but Chavez fighting through the ball. Like to see him not foul. Keep him there.
Keep him there.
Very good pressure. Chavez, that's got to be a foul.
Is that in the box? That is outside.
Just outside the box. That's going to be the second booking of the game.
Mike, that one there reminds me a lot of a guy I played with, Luda Falco, who's in the booth with us tonight. It's ball or man, right? Someone's not getting into that box and getting around him.
That was Zabileski getting the card on that one. Not to be confused with Zabaleta, who plays for Man City, as you know, Tim.
That's a great point, Lou.
That's great. So Chavez in another dangerous spot. He served in a great left-footed ball that almost led to the game-leading goal.
If I'm the Redmen right now, I might run Bitta real close for a quick shot.
You know what's crazy here, guys? Guys, we did talk about, we thought there'd be a lot of goals this half. We've actually seen 2 goals, and both teams were offside. So I definitely think North Park was on the one because they had 2 guys sort of in front of the goalie. But I'm not sure on that last goal. I'd still like to see a better angle on it. But, again, refs have done a great job tonight, so I'm not going to complain about the officiating. I'd just like to see it.
Low ball again, a little flip.
It's out. Kenny Tuck. Ooh.
And I think we're going to another offsides whistle.
It brings up an interesting point. I had a conversation with Bob, the athletic director, earlier today, and he had some real interesting philosophies about offsides and whether they should just take it away out of the game. And if you would have, to your point, Tim, you'd have a 3-3 game right now. And that's the kind of high-scoring game that he thinks is really going to energize this American audience to get behind soccer even more.
Yeah, Bob's a very smart guy, and as a more of a novice soccer fan, a guy that wants to see action, knows what people like him want to see. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm in that camp totally.
Giles,
but I think there are some things that could be done to enhance the American brand of soccer and to get a little more offense in the game.
What kind of ideas do you have around that, Tim?
One is I think if once the team possessing the ball carries it over midfield, they can't bring the ball, much like in basketball, you can't bring the ball back over the timeline. Okay. So they can't bring it back past the 50. So they have to play offense if they're in the attacking part of the field.
Let me ask you guys, there's been a small movement in soccer, and again, I say small, towards modeling maybe hockey.
Oh, here's a counterattack.
And a nice play by Chavez. Can we get on the back end of this ball?
That would be nice if you could.
That would be a nice one for Sarver.
Guys coming up now.
There's a chance of ball play. Good play by the North Park keeper to read that action and beat Chavez to the spot there.
Again,
a good build, good transition, very speedy out of the back, which I liked. The ball was played.
Good step. A lot of time here on the wing.
That ball was played quick out of the back, and there was another
great ball by Chavez. Let's get it down to that corner.
Can we get on the end of it?
Yes.
Chavez back with the ball. Can he get another tough cross?
Ooh.
He likes the choppy foot. A dangerous ball served in. I'd love to, again, see us on that 12. A lot of balls served into that 12 that we're not on the back end.
Potter hustling back all the way from the right side.
Tim, what I noticed here is something you mentioned earlier with Chavez. If you get him going, downhill, it can be dangerous quickly, and he just did that right there.
A little bit of, I'd like to see him on that angle more towards goal. As he was coming out of his break, he was almost again doing that lateral move where now you've given the defender, even if you beat him, a chance to get back his shoulder back in front of you, so not giving you that angle at goal. So I'd love him to take that one extra move that gets him sort of towards the near far post.
Yeah.
Good win at midfield. We're starting to win a lot of more balls at midfield, which is giving us better opportunities going forward, Lou. What do you think? As a center midfielder, that was a big focus area you had to win those balls.
Absolutely. It's critically important to win those balls in the middle and then build the possession from there. We are starting to win a few more of the headers. I was just commenting that Giles won what seemed to be a clean header a little while ago and was called for the foul, but he's been very strong in the air.
This is a tough call here. That ball was served out by, it looked like a Viking from the 40, but it must have deflected off a Carthage player all the way out to a dangerous corner kick at about the 24-minute mark of the second half here. Dangerous chance here for North Park. And North Park wins that header. They're on that near post, but just couldn't get over the top of it. A big opportunity there for North Park on a play that I'm not sure they earned a lot of with that corner kick there.
Tim, I'm just forward thinking here, and you really know the collegiate athletic rule book. If this game ends at a 2-2 tie after regulation, what happens after that point? Or do we go to a golden goal, or is there some kind of overtime?
Mike, there is no golden goal. It's a great question. They play 2 15s, and there's no golden goal, so they're going to play it out. So we've seen Carthage have a lot of those. So I don't know the rule book as well as you think, but I've seen Carthage in way too many overtime games for my liking, and I'm sure Coach Doman's. A lot of late nights not seeing your family.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you were part of a few overtime games in your career. You remember, it was one stick out in your memory more than another?
Oh, I would probably say my senior year at this field, playing University of Wisconsin Oshkosh.
Ranked probably number 12 or so that year?
I think they were 12 at that point, and Carthage was fairly an immature program. We're still trying to make a name for ourselves, and we went ahead and played a double overtime, a late game, got into definitely past 10 o'clock, and we ended up winning that 3-2 to really kind of put us on the map at that point.
Yeah, I think that last goal was led by 2 freshmen. That was sort of their breakout game, if I can. Brent Malmstrom and I think it was Paul Miller.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think on the end of that, it was an incredible goal too.
If I remember right, Paul Miller may have lost his shoe on that goal as well.
I think you're right.
Shoeless Paul Miller.
And he scored it with.
Tim, you're starting to see Bitta step forward from a defensive position and win some balls and stretch us into the front here. I'd like to see if we can try to take advantage of one of these and get some momentum.
Chavez is really starting to own the action here.
He's too prone, though, to pulling up short, Tim. That looked like playing from the ground there. I think Chavez, because he was fortunate to get a lot of goals.
No. Man, I don't know if I'd like to see that ball headed back or what there. Again, ref letting him play here. There's been a lot of contact here lately that hasn't been called, but from both sides. So ref wants to see the kids earn the game. There's another one where Bot seems like he could come out and step more steps and maybe help his defenders out that are really getting pressed back.
Chavez certainly seems the most comfortable on Carthage to possess and try to look for opportunities to create. He's just getting caught up a few times looking for a foul when it's not getting called, and I think he's got to play through that. Yeah,
what I've noticed is he's really starting to float like a witch on a broomstick here. So he's actually a little lighter on his feet than he was here in the first half. I don't know what you guys think there. Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, I think it is, actually. And, I wanted to ask you guys something we talked about earlier in the game with North Park's, real scoring horse, Pedram. Do you feel like Carthage is marking him man up, or is it more of a zone play, do you think, on him today?
Well, Mike, knowing how we were coached when we played, we didn't do a lot of man mark, take a guy out of the game. We try to play a brand of soccer, and ours was always about, a good offense is better than a good defense, right? If you're possessing the ball, you have to play less defense. So, I think that should be Carthage's strategy, and it seemingly has. What I think they're trying to do is trying to ward off that middle, but I think that it's exposing that back line again a little bit on the outsides now in this half. So, looks like North Park's made some adjustments. And, I don't think Carthage has done anything from a man marking situation. Like, you look at the field right now, there's 10 yards between.
See what Bitta can do coming forward here, moving into space. Great find. It's that first touch, Tim. That's that first touch you're talking about. You got to be able to trap and control that first touch to have the real dangerous opportunities.
Yeah, there's times where I look and Carthage looks really good, like a team that can play with anyone in the country. And there's other times where it looks like it's got a little bit of a high school brand of soccer where there's a lot of one touch and the ball's just flying around the field like a
nice decision to move. I'd like to see us bring it wide and use this right side of the field. You've got Potter out here on the right.
Ooh.
And the ref's turning a blind eye. Anything off the ball, he's sort of turned a blind eye to. So I'm not sure anyone's going to get those calls. So
I'd like to see him get it to Ben.
See?
Another giveaway.
A chance where, again, our front runner is making that run forward, and Chavez wants him to check to the ball. We're not seeing our two front runners running in tandem at all. So one guy should be checking, one guy should be running.
It looked like Stefano Dalamas was looking ready to check too. Just they couldn't find him, trying to move it to the left side. He opted to go forward there. And
we're just too wide, Lou. I mean, we don't really have a really good feel. Like right now, we're a good 10 yards away from each other, so there's not going to be a lot of that little quick 1-2, a little clever, crafty soccer here. Like even a ball like that, you know you're not going to win on the back end of it because your guys are 15 yards away from you. Let's see what Chavez can do here. Another win.
Back. Very clever.
Get it over.
And, again, we're just missing sort of that last pass in that attacking third here.
Dangerous opportunity building here. We got plenty of guys back. Good, strong defense. Strong defensive play. Giles is there to
clean up,
regroup from the backside.
Need a better ball out. You know, again, don't want to put ourselves back under and create problems for ourselves. You know, it's one thing if North Park does it to us. It's another thing when you're doing it to yourself and you're just making life difficult for your back four.
Guys, I'm a little surprised with this win how much the ball's played in the air today. I would have thought both teams would have kept it down a little bit more and try to have a little better control of it. Would you guys agree, or am I crazy?
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing I remember Lou, and he can elaborate, was, you know, he was talking about Coach Doman in the preseason. A big thing they tried to focus on was playing the ball on the ground. Let's not play with the ball in the air. The best teams in the world, you don't see that ball much off the ground because they know it's a lot harder to settle, bring down, and then do something with it. So, Lou, what was your discussion with Coach Doman on sort of that possession game?
Absolutely. I talked to Coach Doman about that, and it's actually been one of my philosophies that I've brought to most of my coaching experiences over the years, and that is, we'd like to keep the ball on the ground. We'd like to play an attack up through the middle, bringing it wide, but especially in a game where you've got this wind to deal with, you'd like to see that ball on the ground as much as possible. North Park, interestingly, has seemed to be willing to, when they come out of the back, they're coming with a lot of long balls. They were coming through the middle early in the first half, and I've noticed they seem to be just going with the long. I mean, part of their strategy might be to sit back and go long ball to the corner and try to use that speed and the extra attacker up front, Tim, to see if they can create an opportunity. But as you see, I think Carthage has dominated the last probably 5 or 10 minutes of play here because they've been willing to possess more and try to play within that Coach Doman style of keeping it on the ground.
Thanks, Lou. Let's go to Mike. Do you have any updates on any of the other CCIW action?
Yeah, Tim. Illinois Wesleyan is still down, but they've managed to score a goal, and they're down 3-1 to Milliken. So that's the two teams at the bottom of the table there. So we're not as concerned about that. Augie and North Central are still at 0-0. Just got through the first half. So
how does a tie impact, you think, the conference standings there? But for Elmhurst and North Central, I think both need that sort of quality win there to
very good.
Have a
Strong
chance.
Developing play. They're
Great
doing
play
exactly
by Modesti.
What we just talked about that.
Need to be a little quicker here from Dolamis. Need to be a little quicker. Nice throw, though.
Wow,
Modesti going through. Got to get that ball across. Got to lay that ball back.
Not an easy ball.
He recognized it immediately once he shot it. He pointed over to, I think it's Mahoney there on the left side.
Yeah, certainly, Lou. I'm not saying he was trying to shoot that ball. You know, it's one of those that, again, Mike, it is tough. That ball was about knee high. He tried to get it across to a streaking player on the back post, and then someone sort of feathered again on that 12.
Strong, quick throw by Rimkus there, though, to get that ball into play and create that opportunity.
Yeah, Rimkus did a good job winning that ball back after initially losing it. Again, ball you got to win at midfield there. Yeah, two of our players, one of theirs, and they come out with it. And now in a dangerous spot, Bakari's got to keep his back to goal. No fouls here. You don't want to foul and create a dangerous opportunity. Wow, that should probably book for simulation. There was no touch there, and play went down a little cheapishly.
Keeper, very aggressive again.
The ref is on his game there. He's not going to let any little action like that where he clearly knows the guy was not fouled and he's going to go down in the box like that. And I can respect that as a former player.
Guys, was Carthage trying to sneak one in there from past the half line, or is that an errant kick, do you think?
You know what? right now I'm just a little nervous about our ball getting out of the back. So my guess is that was probably just an errant kick because we haven't been great today at getting the ball out the back. North Park is taking
Look at Carthage wanting to take advantage quickly
away.
here again with a quick throw and look building the attack.
Yeah, I like
to get that.
They just telegraphed it. You know, you really did. Uh-oh.
Good.
Probably not called if North Park possesses the ball. Vogel ran over their players, so they'll have the ball at their own 40-yard line with a free kick. But Mike, back to your earlier point. You know, we're not able to get that ball, so it's hard to say if Carthage is really trying to do a certain thing, or if sometimes we're getting fortunate on a ball that gets played through. It's North Park's taking nearly everything we want to do that's direct away from us. So whether that be outside or inside.
Tim, with 14 minutes left, are there any tactical changes or moves that you would make here as we close into the last kind of 14 minutes of this game?
You know, I mean, from a tactics side, my passion is always to get that ball to your best player.
Who is that for you right now on Carthage?
You know, for me right now, it's Chavez. He's got to know he's the guy. And what he has to do is start telling his guys where he wants them to be. I get the ball like this. I need you making that run, you checking to me. He's got to start taking ownership of this game. We can't hear if he's saying that, but it's certainly not happening on the field. So my assumption is he's not saying it. Because as a captain and a senior, they should be listening to whatever their playmakers talking.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I think for me it's a combination. It's not just one guy right now. It's Chavez and I think Bitta as well. He early in the game, and Lou kind of commented on it because I know Lou's been a Bitta fan. It's no secret. And but I think Bitta, Chavez, and I'd like to see Giles. I mean, we've said his name a lot, and I hope that we can get him kind of stuck in a little bit on one of these dead balls on the offensive side.
Yeah, you know, to get Phillips up the field, though, it's going to require another play where we earn a throw-in or we earn a corner kick. He's playing like a deep sweeper almost at this point. Him and Bukhari, the thing I want to stress, look at how far apart they are. Those are your final two defenders. They're way too wide, and there could be a ball easily threaded through there. So that still makes me nervous. But your point, I'm not saying it's one player, but I'm saying if tactically I want to get the ball to that guy, because that's the guy that's probably going to make something happen.
He certainly looks the most comfortable. Yeah, that's a real dangerous play.
Wow. What an incredible shot. I can't even believe a Viking player was able to get that shot off given the pressure he was put under by I think that's Bukhari.
Bot with great positioning.
Bot with great position. That's a hell of a shot by a Viking, almost off balance with his left foot. Yeah. From about 8 yards wide of the near post.
Let's be careful
incredible
here,
shot. Incredible shot. Another dangerous corner kick. North Park's got size, and that's a well played ball. Bot's got to come up with that, I think, in his hands.
Dangerous. Play on.
Wow, look. Wow, we got a 3-on-2. That ball's got to stay in the middle. It's got to say center cut.
Ball needed to get it middle. Get it middle to Chavez.
Get over to Vogel.
That's
very
outside.
Play.
That ball took a little bit of a bounce. This is a great.
See if he can build and get himself a shot.
Vogel has one-on-one skills. That ball probably needed to be played outside towards his.
There's a terrible giveaway.
Good defense.
Oh, but strong on the back, Townsend, and then he's going to get called, but the ref wants to let him play on.
Wow.
Interesting call. The linesman made that call. Oh, we got a player down. We got a player down in the corner.
I think we got a player down. I think this is the Viking that took that shot, potentially.
It'd be great if we could see that replay again. That did look. It looked clean, but it looked like a very hard tackle.
Can you punch up the shot that led to the corner and then that tackle when you get a chance here during stoppage of play?
Lou and Tim, you guys are probably more versed in European and style of soccer, and I'm looking down the lineup here from North Park, and there's quite a few guys from Sweden. Do you think that plays into the way that they play here at North Park, or have you seen any difference?
Yeah, it could be a style thing. I mean, I haven't seen a real Euro style to their play though. They play a very direct brand of soccer. Much of the Euro is a lot of lateral play with slicing runs. What I do notice that they play very similar to some of the better teams in the Prem and things of that nature are they will make those diagonal runs, and that's one thing I think Carthage could do a better job at. But a lot of that style of play you're talking about is a lot of clever, crafty 1- and 2-touch guys like Iniesta, guys like Messi, guys like Hazard that are very crafty. And what I see from North Park is a lot of long ball play, but I do like their diagonal runs. Lou, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I wouldn't characterize it necessarily as some of the European style of play, but I agree with everything you said there, Tim.
So I think Bot's going to have a kick. That was a very dangerous tackle. A lot of times, even if you win ball, looked like cleats were up a little bit on that sliding tackle. But again, refs let him play. So, he started that way, and he's finishing pretty strong. Only 2 cards given in this game, and this has been a contest in past years where there's been a lot of bookings.
Yeah. Tim, if we go back to the when we won that tackle, I can't remember which player it was, but unfortunately he didn't see a quick diagonal ball just wide open. If we could have made that pass, you'd think it was pretty much a breakaway there, but unfortunately they weren't able to see it, and they continued to stay on the right side instead of looking for that diagonal.
Well, here's another opportunity, 4-on-4 coming through.
With some
We're
numbers.
Going to play wide. Wow, good eyesight. Good,
play
very
to
clever.
Get wide. Let's see what we can build here.
Nice. And we get a cross in. It's a low cross, and we're going to earn ourselves a corner. I'd like to see that ball get a little more flighted ball there, maybe to the back bar. Give a chance for Vogel to get on the back end. He's got some size and he's got some athletic ability.
Nice play there by Modesti. Unfortunately, couldn't get the elevation under that ball that he was looking for, but it still created a dangerous
opportunity. Modesti, just sophomore, I think, from pretty local here in Racine. Mike, is that correct? Is that the
he is. Yeah, went to Horlick. Yeah.
Okay, a couple good players Carthage has had from Horlick over the years. So a long line of recruiting here, sort of locally for Coach Doman. Dangerous chance here. Played pretty wide. Giles gets up on it.
Gets ahead on it again, but
again, those opportunities. I'm sure Coach Doman and Coach Bachman are really coaching to get that ball served sort of towards that 12, and we just haven't done enough of it. The throw-ins have been spot on. The corners have been a little wide, played out more towards the 18, Mike.
Absolutely, you're right. It's normally the corner kicks are the ones that are dangerous for us. So it's and we've had so many of them in this game. I think we need to capitalize, especially with just under 10 left.
I'll tell you one thing. We talk about this field and how it takes a lot of better true bounces. When that ball's rolling, and this is why I think Mike had stressed it early, how do we get the ball played more on the ground versus up in the air? Because there tends to be a lot of bounce.
Oh, I don't know about that. That looks like simulation to me.
There tends to be a lot of bounce to the ball here and a lot of English. So it looks like we're going to get a booking for...
Tim, I don't know about that play.
Yeah, you can't sweep through the legs even if you're going for the ball and the other guy's playing a...
Rimkus getting booked there, but...
what we have to be worried about, we have a lot of games left. You start getting all these bookings, you miss games. Mike knows about that. I think he's missed a couple games in his career due to surplus yellow.
You know what? Actually, I have not.
And if you look, it looks like Coach Doman might be subbing him out right now. Did he pull Rimkus out? Yeah, I see.
A lot of times after a card,
not happy.
A lot of times after a card, Steve will make a very quick substitution.
Just to settle a guy down. Guys, for the folks that actually haven't played in a game situation, is there a lot of talking going on between the players down on the field in a game like this?
Great header by Giles there again, winning it strong in the middle.
Sometimes it's tough for the goalie to see these yellow lines, with all the different lines on the field. I think Mike last year made a comment about, is it harder or easier to play with all the lines on the field? And, it depends on, I think, what position you're playing. But sometimes these yellow lines can get a little sheepish here for the goalie.
Right now with, just over 8 minutes. Oh, here's the dangerous opportunity. 8 minutes left in the game. It kind of comes down to who's got more will on their side right now and who wants to work harder to create some opportunities.
Chavez, very clever play. That's the kind of
nice switch the field here, Tim.
A good
nice play development.
Now.
Bitta can't get it out wide.
Can we get the ball outside of Modesti?
Get it back up. Lay it back off to Chavez here up top. No.
Okay, but a dangerous throwing opportunity. Towson coming in. Yeah, you bet he is.
He's going to leg it all the way from the other side of the field.
But that's the brand of soccer I think anyone could like. What Chavez just did there, very, very cheeky.
Absolutely.
And then he not only was able to make the move, draw a defender, and then sort of get a cheeky pass over.
Can Giles find a way to get his head onto this ball?
See how this looks.
Look at notice that I got 3 guys surrounding Giles.
Ooh, that's
right
big throw. Ooh, that's goalie comes out. We have a chance at the top. Phillips gets a foot on it. The ball's going to run out for a goal kick, though. Very dangerous. Carthage trying to put a little more pressure, especially on the right side here. We haven't seen a lot of play on the far side of the field, Mike. A lot of the action for both teams has been right in front of us.
Yeah, you're right. Fortunately for us, we can get a good look at it. Just looking at the shot totals here, guys. 13 shots for Carthage, 20 for North Park. That's.
But how many are on goal for each
surprising.
team? That's one thing I usually look at.
Well,
is,
that's
you
a
know,
good point, Tim. 5 on goal.
Giles
for
with
Carthage,
another
6
strong
for
header.
North
Tim
Park.
Giles is really commanding the middle of the field on these goal kicks right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm wondering if tactically, I think Mike asked the question, is there an opportunity maybe to move Phillips up into a defensive midfielder role rather than have him so deep, pin back, and get someone with some additional speed off the bench that can sort of cover that sweeper type of position?
That's a good point, Tim.
Because
You know,
Phillips-
traditionally, Coach Noman doesn't
Chavez,
use that
Tim,
kind
there
of
he is again. Oh, wow.
Nice. Ooh.
Advantage,
Uh-oh,
advantage.
And there's a little bit of pushing.
And the ref's got to be quicker. That's what he's got to
Gotta
be
get
quicker
on
on. That
that,
should
yeah.
be more than just a call that's pulling a guy down from the back, and that's what we get nervous about when two guys now have to settle it for themselves because the ref isn't quick enough to blow the whistle on that. So, we don't want to lose a player like Chavez. Does he already have a card today? Do we know?
You know what? I
We
do
check
not.
check the stats on that.
I don't
Maybe
bel-
John can punch that up for us. If he does, that's very dangerous for him to be in any type of extracurriculars. There's a player that's probably had his share of red cards. What do you think there? How do you keep a cool head there?
Well, I think you got to just walk away and realize that
Yeah.
there's 5 minutes left in the game, and
So Mike is saying that Chavez did have a card.
is
so,
working on a yellow
you get
card right
thrown
now.
down, you're immediately going to want to get up and sort of retaliate, and you get a retaliation. We're not only playing down a man. Chavez is out for the rest of this game and the next game.
No, you're right. I had that happen to me on Thursday night against the Rage in our over 35 indoor league, and
I'm sure the fans on the other end of this can't wait to hear about those over 35 games that we're playing on Thursdays, Mike.
Okay, about 5 minutes left.
We're about 5 minutes. Chavez
right
with a
now,
big
Tim,
win.
Chavez has stepped up, and he's looking like the best player on the field right now, creating the most opportunities, and he's actually doing it on both sides of the ball right now, which is good to see out of your center midfielder. But unfortunately, we just haven't been able to string anything together to create a really dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, I got to tell you guys, I'm impressed with both teams really conditioning. I mean, I haven't seen anyone really dog
Look
it
wide
out
here, wide. Can we get it wide?
No, Chavez, I
Chavez,
like
build
it.
through the middle.
I still like
Take it
him
back
having the
out to the
ball
right
and
side.
being our playmaker.
Good first touch.
I think that
He's
is
gotta
that a
move
freshman
now.
out there, I think?
Yep.
Damn.
So that just not a high percentage
You
pass.
think we could do better than that for sure, guys?
I think
Like
you
to
either
see
got
us build
you got
back
to deep,
here.
you got to fake that pass, either go back or play that ball out wide. Here comes Bukhari. He's got good speed.
I've been very
got
impressed with
good
Bukhari
rate.
tonight,
Nice.
Tim.
Yeah, after that first couple minutes where a mistake led
Okay,
to
we
a
gotta
North Park
careful
goal,
here,
he's
guys.
been real sound.
And there's a very fortunate pass behind the player there to slow things down and allow Carthage to get back defensively. Very dangerous.
Question that offside.
And it looks like it's going to be offside.
Flag
He was
is up
playing
on that one.
behind.
It's a real keen eye, Mike, to
Yeah.
catch that before the linesman could even call it.
Well, as a guy that got called for a lot of offsides, Mike knows when he sees it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Tim, look at the amount of space on the right hand side right now. Where
But look, one checking runner and no one in behind him. Now it's too late for me.
oh
Puts
wow,
Modesti-
wow.
Nice.
Oh, just Viking just gets a foot on that one, or looks like Modesti might have been in.
Oh, very good.
Good,
Very
clever.
quick movements. Let's see if they can
Let's
build
get-
here from the right side.
Ah.
Keeper had it well covered. Let's
know
see if
what?
they counterattack quickly. It looks
I
like
would
they're
have
gonna
liked to
hold
have
off.
seen out there on the wide side him to get a touch on that ball, maybe get it on his right foot and angle that ball back post.
Yeah.
Instead, he tried to play a one-timer without possessing the ball first. I think he could have been more dangerous
Chavez
and
on that
given
play,
himself
Tim,
more options.
was not ready. He kind of got himself mixed up. He should have probably won that ball in the air. There was no one around him.
Yep.
Well, guys, if
do you
his-
guys see any last-minute heroics
Well, that's
happening
what
at the
I
end
was
of this
just
game?
this great comment, Lou. I was just going to mention. It seems like there's been our fair share of last-minute goals, and this is certainly setting up for that today.
Yeah, you guys have. Doesn't take a lot to look at the 15 games we played so far this year and see that a lot of them have come down to this exact time, whether it be in OT or in late in regulation.
Great ball right there. You'd like. Oh wow, scary.
And we've been both on the good side and the bad side of these losses. Early in the year, Carthage came out of the gates and lost a couple games really late with giving up some late goals, and then they've been sort of the cardiac kids here in the middle to latter part of the season, winning a lot of games sort of at the end, Mike.
Yeah, what scares me about that is it's a percentage game. It's a coin flip at times, and we've had a bunch go our way. You just hate to see it go the other side.
What was the famous quote? You play with fire.
You're going to get burnt, yeah.
And, you'd rather not have this happen too much, but I think both teams have been fit to earn a result here. So I'm not sure who's going to come out on top of this game, but I can tell you both teams have played hard, played tough, and played a pretty decent brand of soccer here for the most part. Wow, great play on the baseline by a Viking. And that ball coming late in, and what an opportunity. Wow, that would have been an incredible finish. That was a little behind the Viking player streaking in from the left side. A great job. I can't see the number out there. Cutting it back on the baseline and having a Carthage player fly by and playing a beautiful ball across, just out of the reach, I think, of his teammate.
Tim, what do you do here as a Carthage defender? You got a minute 30 left. Do we pull as many guys back right now as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to defend your net. You can't give up a late goal knowing there's still overtime that has an opportunity. You do not want to give one up here, just like we talked about at the end of the first half. So here comes a corner kick.
Low corner.
Played low. Carthage has got to keep him backpedaling and keep him from getting a good cross.
Pulling their lineup to try to get it off sides here. You got to be careful in that corner.
Interesting.
Okay, Vikings win a...
Tim, how long is the overtime?
They're 2:15s, I believe. Either 2:10s or 2:15s. I'd love to look again at the rule book on that one, Lou. But they'll at least play another 20 minutes of soccer, granted this one doesn't finish here or at the other end with a late goal. So Carthage really needs to win this ball and get it out. They need to have, an opportunity there. Had he stumbled in the back, we had 3 Carthage players coming up against one Viking defender.
You'd think Bot would let a lot of time tick down here before sending this ball as deep as possible.
Right now, the way we've won games,
that's probably not the kick he was looking for.
Get that ball upfield.
Is there a chance for an opportunity with some speed?
Modesty, I believe. Right? Oh, just goes off the table. Looks like that's going to do it here for regulation, and we're going to go into 2:15s here. No golden goal.
Well, this raucous crowd certainly got all that they bargained for tonight with this game, guys, and looks like we're going to get to see a little bit more.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And that'll do it here in regulation. Mike, Lou, I mean, we'll talk about how we size it up. I think both teams, again, I had just mentioned, both have earned this result so far. It's not like hockey where you get a point here anyway. Both teams still have a lot to play for here in overtime to stay sort of in that position to be at the top of the table. Either team wins this game, they could still beat Wheaton if Wheaton is able, if Wheaton dumps a game to, someone else in the conference. So a lot at stake here. We'll see how Coach Doman brings them out. One thing I'd like to see is Phillips brought more up into the attack. He's been the second best player on the field, I think, for Carthage. Outside of Towson's throw-ins, it's been about Chavez and it's been about Phillips here late. And I think you need to get that guy forward a little bit and see if he can create.
Well, Tim, let's just think about this for a minute. And I know that Chavez is just talking to the referees, and they're probably flipping the coin for the ball or for the win. What do you do if you've got 2 shortened periods, 15 minutes? It's not golden goal. Do you take the win first, or do you take the ball?
You know what, Mike? One of my rules of heart, and I think it was my dad that taught me this, is you always take the win first because you'd rather be advantaged up than you'd rather be chasing a goal late. I'd rather have to protect with the wind against me than to not score with the wind and then be against the wind trying to chase. So I think if you can, you take every advantage. Being in the lead is always better than trying to chase.
Well, that's a good point, and you know as well as I do, spending 4 years playing and then also probably 5 or 6 years living here. Being this close to the water, you're in this cycle, this area that the wind can change on you. It really can change within minutes to 15 minutes, and I think we want to go ahead and take that wind and maybe hope for a change.
And maybe hope that you have it in the second half as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, our partner here can't stay on his feet, and we finally got one of us that cracked and has to take a seat, a little bit of a break. We're sorry if we're on camera here and you can't see one of us. Lou's back up. He's back in. Overtime can even affect the guys up here in the booth. It is a long night, but we've seen an incredible game, I think. Both teams really pressing forward, really trying to win the game. What I love about this is neither team is sitting back, Lou. What do you think about that? Have you played for a coach where it was, let's play for the tie? And how did you feel about that?
Well, what I'm looking at right now is I'm trying to focus in on Coach Doman, and it looks like he is really it looks like he's really motivating the team right now. I could see some very tactical comments coming from him. I'm not sure what he said. I used to be able to read lips a little bit, Tim, but he does look like he's got them motivated. And to your point, I'd like to see, if I'm him, I'm telling him, let's run some more through Chavez. Let's get him the ball. Let him create and see if we can get some opportunities. We had a lot of good chances and a lot of service coming from the wings, but as you'll remember, not a lot of those were on goal, to your point, Timmy. There weren't a lot of shots on net that the keeper had to save, and I think that's been the difference in the ball game. Bott is actually, several times over, even in that second half. He was challenged a few times, and he came up with big saves, and while we've created opportunities, we just haven't been able to put many shots on net, so I'd like to see a little bit more of that in this overtime.
So you think there was any good cop, bad cop over there, and who do you think from a coaching perspective, Mike? You played a lot of years here. You know your brother pretty well. I couldn't tell if he was playing good cop, bad cop, but it looks like C.J. Bachman a lot of times is playing sort of that good cop role, if you will, trying to get the kids motivated maybe after getting a stern talking to.
Oh, I would agree with you. And it's no secret. CJ is a great player, and he played at a pretty high level, Division I. And, he's been in games like this before, and he knows what it takes to get it done. So I think it sometimes helps. It's obviously everyone respects the coach, and Coach Doman's a guy that is easy, respectable. But it's nice to hear it from somebody that, just recently got done playing, and not only at this level, but a different level. So, yeah, I think they'll use that to their advantage here.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing they lean on, like a Jordan Innes, who's just a couple years removed and played in a lot of these games and battles against these teams. And, it's a great point. Coach Doman has the battle scars from these wars for many years. So, it looked like he was, telling them, again, what Lou, I'll reiterate what Lou's saying. Let's play the ball through Chavez. Let's try to make some diagonal runs, and let's maybe not get so wide. Look at already our separation between Giles Phillips and Jake Picari. I don't like that kind of distance between those two guys. That's the top of our box. Something can go between them, and that should not happen. Yeah. Make them go wider. It's tougher to take an angled shot than a shot where I have more goal at my disposal. Lou?
Totally agree, Tim. Let's see what happens here as they start off. High pressure early.
So, Mike, I was wrong. It's definitely not golden goal, but it's 2:10s, not 2:15. So We're gonna have 20 more minutes of soccer here, regardless of the outcome of the first few minutes of it. Looked like a handball by a Viking, and late whistle, but the ref did get it right, as he's done all night. So we're getting a lot of whispers here. We're hearing a lot more from the fans. I think everyone's getting a little nervous, sitting on pins and needles here, maybe at the edge of their chairs, and you're starting to hear a lot of yelling at the referee, who's had a marvelous game.
I gotta say, Tim, I was just gonna say the same thing. The referee, it's really been a well officiated game. He's let the players play. He's kept things under control. He's had to, give a few bookings out, which were probably deserved, and he's really kept control of the game, and it's been well officiated.
Yeah, Lou, great point. I mean, wow, another very clever, very, we're starting to see a little bit more of that creativity that I'd like to have seen starting at the beginning of the game, where we didn't see Carthage trying to be a little more crafty, playing a little 1-2 combo. I mean, Lou is a center midfielder and a guy that liked to captain the center and not get way out to the wings. You can't always be dribbling. You have to have that 1-2 through pass. You have to have that sort of craft. You have to be able to sort of receive, pass, and move.
And then move. Absolutely, Tim.
And that's what we're missing. We're missing the move after the receive and pass. You know what I mean? We're not getting that same guy forward again, or in a support role. And Mike is a guy that had to play with his back to the goal a lot of times. Was it comforting when a guy came to support you, so you had two options, turning on a guy and or playing it back and then rolling off for a through ball?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you want to have those options, especially when you're talking about a size advantage, which I did not have. I think that's going to play into it. So you're right. You have to have those options. You have to be able to turn on people quick. So Tim, I think you're right. When you look at this overtime structure, you got 2 10-minute periods. And what, a golden goal, basically. So the first one to score ends up winning this game.
Wow, and then North Park's got a late chance, but it looked like that ball was out of bounds, and the ref on the linesman even caught that. A great job on the linesman. Tough to see through two goalposts and the goalie, and a lot of field players. But from up here, it looked like that rolled off the table, and certainly he down at the other end.
So, Mike, did you confirm it is golden goal? Rather than 2 10s?
I did. It's 2 10s. It's a golden goal. So first
goal
win.
So
wow, getting the wind, first here probably is instrumental. If this ends in a tie, that's what it is. It's not.
Like to see him go back to Bitta here. We've got space in the middle.
There's no shootout.
What can we create here?
Oh, nice play.
Oh, we'd like to get a better shot. It looked like he was going for
there.
Post.
Nice build up.
Get the right wood on that ball. It looked like that was a clever build. That was who coming up the middle? I believe that was that Dolomis, number 6. I think that came up the middle with the clever couple moves.
Yeah, I think it was Bitta actually that came through here at the 25-yard.
I'll tell you what, the wind is more of a factor here. I mean, the North Park keeper was from the other end kicking the ball a really long way, both on a goal kick or a dead ball or even a punt. He's having trouble scraping this ball by the 50, Mike. So this is that half where you want to put him under. You don't score here, they've got the wind advantage in the second.
Yeah, I'm looking at the flags here across the way at the bleachers, and I'm seeing a full C, meaning the wind's picked up, I think, guys. So that's advantage Carthage.
Yeah, they're Mike. They said there's the A, there's the B, there's the C. And you can definitely see that flag moving out there. Ball played across. Carthage got to win that ball, and that ball's got to be one going forward. Again, those little mistakes right there put us under. So right now, instead of having the ball at midfield in possession, Mike, we're back at our own 20 with either taking a long throw or a guy having to possess the ball out of the air, bring it down with his back going forward. But you have Towson as a weapon, and that guy goes another 60 yards downfield. So
crowd is really getting into it at this point, guys. Chavez goes down hard again. Oh, it looks like a little.
Oh, this could be costly.
Chavez has to be very careful.
I'm not sure Chavez touched him at all. So
who got the yellow card there? Was that a North Park yellow?
Looks like the Carthage bench.
Carthage got a red. Chavez got a
Chavez just got a red?
Yep.
Wow, so that's the second. That's why I said we had to be very careful.
That's your best player just coming out of the game.
And
He's
you're
coming out of this
down
game, and he's going to be sitting out of the next game as well.
You know, again, the big problem here is if that whistle is a little earlier, he protects the Carthage player from making any retaliation. I'm not giving
Coach Doman, look, they're having to control him over there right now. Coach Doman cannot be pleased with this.
You're going to be playing a man under. Now you're almost playing for a tie here. So
Tim, maybe a good lesson again for all the young kids at home that are still maybe up listening to this game. You cannot retaliate. The foul was called, and he got up, and maybe he just stepped that foot out a little bit and tripped the player, and now he's out of this game, and as Mike mentioned, the next.
I'm not giving an excuse for Chavez because there's no reason. You can't retaliate. You got to know better. But that's one, again, where we talked even earlier, right at the beginning of the game, where I said the refs got to be consistent throughout, but when there's times where there's a foul that earned a yellow card, he's got to be quicker to get over there, book that guy so both players know that the foul that was given that was deserved. And maybe there is no retaliation. So, Chavez has to look at himself here. Now he's out for the next game, too, which I'm not sure who's I think it's Milliken, potentially, is the next game, or is it not a conference contest, Mike? But I think he's out for that game as well.
Big ball by Bitta.
Unless that's a soft red. So I'd have to look at what the rule book is if that's changed. But here goes Carthage
with
an opportunity.
Right there. Great pass.
This might be the one they have to capitalize on, given the playing a man down.
Yeah, how do you see the next 15 minutes playing out a man short, Mike?
It looks like they have moved Giles Phillips up into a defensive center mid, unless he's going to roll all the way back, Mike.
No, you will see him in that center mid, and he's been winning a lot of balls on these goal kicks.
I got to tell you, Lou, I think in 15 minutes I can tell you exactly how it's going to play out. But with that being said, you're kind of caught here because you're at home. You've got that advantage. You mentioned earlier the crowd's starting to get into it. They're feeling that momentum. But the same token, you've seen the table. A tie here for both teams is not that bad.
No.
A loss for one, especially being down a man at Carthage is going to put you in a little bit of a hole that you got to dig out of.
But this is another problem. Carthage has had some problems sort of, keeping guys on the field from a yellow and or red card standpoint, and it just puts you in a really tough, difficult position to win some close ball games.
Here comes Bitta. Beautiful
That's a
ball.
good ball.
Beautiful ball by Bitta.
Ooh, just could not
That
get a
far post.
Rensick
Can
type
Riley get on the end of it?
That's
it
going
looks
to be a
like
corner kick.
Gotta
Looks like a
really,
corner
at
to
this
me.
point, would have liked to see that ball go on the other side of the flag for a throw-in.
Yep, that's true, Tim.
Get Giles Phillips coming forward. He is playing a back line. I thought they moved him up a little, maybe to defensive midfielder, but looks like he's still playing on that back line.
You just don't see the power headers anymore. Do you remember back in the 80s, the Jay Rensicks,
Larry Christian.
the Larry Christians?
Yeah, guy coming through and just hitting a sweeping header.
Wow, that was not what Bitta wanted to do on that one.
No, so
Let's see if
now
they can
see
get it
North Park
wide.
knows they've got that man advantage, and they're coming hard at every ball. They got a we have a one-on-two situation.
Couple unfortunate crosses there.
Tired
from
legs.
Bitta.
I wouldn't mind seeing a guy make that near post run, though. That's always a run. Every time there's a ball cross, there should be a near and a far post run. We learned that early on when we play soccer, and then there should usually be someone at the top of the box for anything that squirts out. And, I haven't seen Carthage all night and maybe all season really get on that near post.
Good pressure
No,
by
you're right. I
Carthage
think
there
we
to win
mentioned
the
it a couple
ball,
times.
and I like the way that they're possessing after the turnover.
This is dangerous right now because Carthage, again, playing a man down. We got to remember that. You don't have – you look at that middle of the field exposed right there. Just dead in the middle where Chavez would be, that area of the field is vacated right now.
A little bit too tricky coming out of the back there. You don't like to see that when you're a man down.
I'm guessing Coach Bachman right there is going to give a little tutorial that we're down a man. We're late, or midway through overtime here. A result of a tie isn't bad. We'd love the win, but you can't do it and put yourself in a situation where you're giving up odd numbers going the other way. You're going to have to get something from Asar Mahoney using his speed. And maybe a bad outlet pass.
Dangerous outlet pass there.
Mike and I can remember losing a game to Wheaton with a similar ball that was played out just like that from our own goalie, which was unfortunate. Lost the game 2-1 here on our home field when a ball much like the North Park netminder just played out.
Yep.
Their guy won immediately at the 35 and shot it in from 40 yards away.
You're right.
And goalie out of the box.
It was tough for that player to handle, and he, I think, unfortunately ended up quitting that year, and rightfully so. He.
I think he did play 4 years for us and was an all-conference goalie, but we won't let details or the truth get in the way of a good story.
Good layoff by Bitta. Looks
Right.
like Mahoney out there on the left-hand side.
What we're going to have to do here is we're probably going to have to win an opportunity. We've got to win a one-on-one battle, I think, here at some point. We're going to have to get and do this without
That's a dangerous ball.
Head that ball back.
You've got to head it
Nice.
back. Oh.
See, that's where Bot needs to be more vocal. Let him know, like, I'm coming. Left, whatever it is. So.
Do you think, Tim, that has anything to do with Bot being a freshman, and that's something that'll come over time?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. We just talked about a goal situation where, we had a goalie his freshman year make a mistake, and, they all get better and more comfortable over time and get a louder voice with the team. And a goalie should always have a loud voice. He's that last line of defense.
Very dangerous again on that opportunity.
Very. I mean, we can't afford to be serving up these corners right now. It looks like North Park is getting ever so close to capitalizing on one of these. So,
a few seconds left here in this first overtime period. Mike.
Bot should take his time here. Go ahead, Lou.
That one a little better.
Head ball has got to be one, and now we're put back under. Again, a mistake on our own, not one that they created as an advantage. Could have been called.
No foul there. And wow, play will go on.
Riley plays
Nice.
that line. Probably got to get. That's one we probably need to get air under.
Riley, if you can
Riley
sneak
going
it in.
right through.
Good hustle.
It is good hustle. Right now we need to win that ball forward.
Here's somebody coming. Can we build out of the back here, Tim?
Ooh.
And that looked like it was.
And that ball's going to end the half here.
That'll
I don't
probably
think
do it.
North Park's going to put this ball in play. We're going to the second 10 of regulation. Down a man, tied on the score sheet. A lot riding on this win, lose, or draw here. Lou, how do you see the table? How's that game going, Mike, between
Milliken and Illinois Wesleyan. Their score's the same, 3-1 Milliken. There's about a minute and a half left.
What about that Augie North Central game? Anything on there that could be troubling to Carthage or North Park?
Right now it's still 0-0. It's 77th minute, so we'll keep an eye on it. But a much different game out at North Central in Naperville, Illinois than what we've got here.
What are you saying on the stats? Who's sort of, from what you can make of just looking at the stats, who's got the better of the play there in that game?
It looks fairly even. I mean, I think probably Augustana's got a couple more shots, 8-12, but they do have a lot more on goal. So it may look that Augustana probably has a little bit of the advantage on the stat sheet, but unfortunately they're still tied up 0-0. So
all right. So how do you see this playing out? We just lost our best playmaker. We lost our strength up the middle. We were all middle players. Can you imagine right now, put yourself in Chavez's shoes knowing he can't be out there helping his team in one of the most critical positions on the field, Lou? What do you think what's going through his mind?
It's got to be frustrating, Tim, but he's got no one to blame but himself on that one. I think he overreacted a little bit, and he had to pay the price for it. And so right now you're hoping he's encouraging his teammates, and I'm not sure that they've got somebody else in the middle. I think Bitta really has to step up at this point, and you see he's been making some real creative diagonal passes on the long ball and really getting them to the target. So I think the hope is we try to connect on one of those, but it's going to be tough. Seems like a little momentum is going to go to North Park's way on this one.
That's great. So, Mike, you know your brother better than anybody. What's he telling the team right now, and what do you think he's telling them? Is he going after the win, or is he playing for the tie?
I don't know if he's probably specifically, strategizing for a win or a tie. I think he's probably telling the guys, say, hey, let's just relax a little bit. It's unfortunate that Ivan's out, but we really got the mentality of next man up. And I think Bitta obviously is going to have to be that guy in the middle. So I'm sure he's trying to rally the troops around Bitta and Giles in the back. And obviously we're going against the wind in this half. So I think he just wants the guys not to panic and to realize that we still got an opportunity here, but we've got to be selective.
So it looks like we're going to run sort of that flat back four. Where are you going to take? Sar Mahoney's the only front runner now. We're going to drop a player back to fill in the gap Chavez left.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, you really don't have any choice. I mean, with this wind and with you being down a man, I think you got to be somewhat conservative. I mean, you're gonna try to strike when you have opportunities, but I think at the end of the day, let's be
You think
careful.
It's surprising North Park doesn't try to step on Carthage throat by sending one of their back four forward to sort of take that gap that no one from Carthage is going to be able to fill?
Oh, I would agree, and you guys know playing soccer, it's the wind actually mentally can get into your mind. I mean, when you're running downhill with the wind at your back, you just feel that energy. When you're coming up against the wind, it just feels like you can't move, and I think North Park's going to have that. To your point,
so I don't think that's ever really affected Lou, given his rate or his pace wasn't all that swift. So wind probably wasn't a factor. I know what you're talking about, given my wheels over the years, Mike.
Well, here we go. They're talking about
developing.
North Park was a little slow to get up. I'm surprised, actually.
Yeah, they just earned another corner, and right now they have been very dangerous with these last 4 or 5 corners. They put them sort of in that sweet spot where Bott is going to have to be big here. He is going to have to figure out how can he get to that ball and not rely on his defenders all the time. So let's see if Bott can get off his line and win this ball in the air. Or we've seen a couple of these North Park kicks that really haven't made it past that 6-yard box on the front post. So this ball is played deep to the back bar, and that's going to be off the table for a throw-in. And I'm assuming we're going to have Towson take it and try to ream this ball to about 40 yards downfield.
Towson will be taking it. That's a missed opportunity for North Park.
You could actually throw to the goalie, given the strength he has, and settle for the punt, right? We can still throw the ball to the goalie and play it with his hands, or no?
Look at that throw.
That throw might be better than our keeper's punt.
It might have been 45
against
yards.
The wind. Look at Sar. I mean, Sar's just going to – that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get a game break.
I'd like to see him. Giles coming into command that one.
We need a quick 1-2.
Mahoney here.
We need a quick 1-2, and then we got to let Sar Mahoney sort of do something individually.
He just couldn't thread it through.
He was looking for smoke in a keyhole on that one. He just missed it, guys.
The guys love the smoke in a keyhole, but I think it does play here.
What about the job that the two ball men and women on each side have been doing to keep the pace pretty quick today and get those loose balls?
Wow, I've got to say I haven't noticed. I'll let Mike answer that.
No, I've noticed absolutely. These are the things that make a difference for me in viewing. I think the referee
big throwing opportunity right now, Mike. Towson going to deliver, and can Giles get on the back end?
We got.
Wow! The ball slips right through the box.
Was that Bitta?
And
right?
Nobody's on it. That's tough.
What a dangerous
especially when you're playing down a man.
Can we finish?
No, we need that ball down to the chest, though. We need that ball.
It's going to be another dangerous opportunity here. Wow. Yeah, watch how quickly she gets that ball in.
She does get it quickly, but it's not only the speed at which the ball gets to Townsend. It's the rubbing, the cleaning of the ball.
Like, wow, you guys are really watching this game really tightly here. So
what a weapon here to have these type of opportunities.
I mean, how far is this ball going? This is incredible. That's in the goal.
Oh,
that was almost thrown into the back of the goal.
Carthage really pressing here, and they are just looking to clear that ball out.
I'm pretty sure the scouting report's going to be on. Do not award Carthage any throw-ins. Give them corner kicks in the last 4 games of the season before they play in the CCIW tourney. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Carthage is going to make the CCI tourney after 1 year not playing in it. I'm sure that doesn't sit well with the coaching staff nor the players. Mike, knowing we didn't have that ability back when we played, there was no conference championship, there was no conference tourney. These kids have to be upset for not making it last year after that Wheaton win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got a schedule, and obviously they play a really difficult schedule. There's 2 ways to get in. It's one on.
This could be dangerous here.
Ooh,
Giles played it really well.
We need to get that ball up and out, though, Phillips.
Controls,
we can't put ourselves back under.
Yep, all the way back. Plenty of time for Bot. Plenty of time.
Bot doesn't
see him come
feel
wide
overly
here.
comfortable playing with his feet, and he'll develop that as his career goes on. He's a very solid goalkeeper, and like every player, he's got stuff he's got to work with. But right now, you want him to do whatever feels comfortable, especially late in the game with so much on the line. Oh, we need to be on the back end. Nice.
There goes.
Can we play Mahoney through and let him use his speed? So it looked like there was a developing opportunity.
That was Mahoney to Mahoney on that one.
That was a developing opportunity quickly played out by
another threatening play here with the size of the throwing by Townsend.
Yeah, even these throws from the 25.
You can easily get that to the 6-yard box.
Phillips has got to make himself more dangerous. I'd like to see him as that second header almost, or someone like Bitta on the back end.
Look at that throw, another.
Look at the goalie way off his line. And these throws, the way they're coming in at such a...
I don't like that selection at all.
No, I'd like to see that ball played out wide. Yeah. I'm with you. Order the corner flag and see if we can get a guy to run onto it.
Okay, something else I wanted to point out, too, is Bitta's playing on a yellow card as well. And so I think he wants to be careful. I haven't seen anything out of him this half that has been an issue. But, gosh, we don't want to go into next week's game with Bitta and Chavez.
No, you can't afford that. All of a sudden, you think you're playing Milliken, who's got no wins on the year in the conference, but every team's tough. Every game is tough. It's
Look at once again, Tim, the keeper well out and able to stop a potentially threatening play.
Absolutely. He's been all over the field.
Very aggressive style of play, which just seemed to have suited him well.
Whereas both goalies have a completely different style. So one stays more on his line and, asks his defenders to play a little differently.
Trying to create some opportunity with speed.
Just an update, Tim and Lou. North Central just took the 1-0 lead late in the 84th minute on a penalty kick. So North Central's up 1-0 on.
So what does that make the table? Assuming they win, that puts them at 3-1. That moves Augie down to 1-3. So that bottom of the table, Milliken, Wesleyan, and Augustana, it looks like they're more than likely out of it. And then you've got Wheaton, Carthage, North Park, North Central, and Elmhurst fighting for 4 teams fighting for 5 teams fighting for 4 spots.
And Carthage.
Can we get on the back?
Wow! Mahoney got his head on that one, guys, and that was a golden opportunity.
Probably our best corner of the night. It was played deep into the 6 in front of the goalie, so he couldn't get a play on it. And Mahoney had full head on that, and just it looked like it got deflected wide, Lou.
We'll try to break down that replay in the post-game coverage because that was really close.
we're starting to win these balls up here, which North Park can't be happy with, given their man advantage here. Carthage just playing a.
He just got stepped on there,
like
right in the hamstring.
I'm hoping he didn't pull some. Shane Riley, a senior, need him on the field for that that comforting for the freshmen and younger players.
He was just stepped on. But yeah, it's very interesting, Tim. Since the issuance of the red card, the possession has really favored Carthage. A man down.
Right.
They've created much more dangerous opportunities here in the second half, and that's a long ball into the wind.
Phillips with Mahoney. Mahoney's got to get ahead on that ball, get that ball sent across. I mean, we're at about 2.5 minutes to play here. For those watching
Mahoney on that one.
Watching the coverage here, we are we're getting to the way late stages. Carthage has been known to pull some of these out. Mike, how do you see the last 2 minutes figuring here?
You know, you're right. I mean, down a man.
Ooh.
Dangerous. Can Mahoney put on the speed? Is there a foul?
Can we get Modesti on the back end?
They're going to call him. They're going to
Wow, that's probably the lightest call of the game, given what we've seen out here today.
I think late in the game, they're probably
let the kids play. Let the kids play.
Tim, if it were up to me, I mean, I think that that missed header by Mahoney, which was such a great opportunity there, that might be the best opportunity we're going to see this half.
For the rest of this game, huh? What we don't want is anything under a 20 right now. It's just a very nervous feeling if you're Carthage, knowing you playing that man down. You know you've got a gap on the field that you're used to having someone somewhere. So I think it behooves Carthage to keep that ball above the 50 as much as they can. Take some pace out of the game. Take some time out of it right here. Get your players up. This is probably your last chance to probably put one in, and then they're going to be coming down your end if you don't play here.
No, you're right, Tim. I agree with all that. There's a minute left in this game. You basically you do what you can do to get that ball.
Serves up a pretty good ball.
Wow, a lot of hands in the back.
Push on Giles down there.
With the ball
slip one through.
1 minute remaining.
Right here, we've got to just get that ball out. Get it out.
Okay.
Get that ball up the field. Get that ball
great play by Townsend. That's okay. That's okay. That's going to be the play right there. This will be the last throw of the game,
Get
guys.
Phillips up. Keep Bukari back. And
Mahoney take your time. I mean,
no one should
Townsend here is going to take his time. This will be the last throw of the game.
Bot is far off his line as we've seen him tonight, all the way out to the 20. This is it, folks. For Carthage's hopes, here it is.
Townsend signaling all his players to get in the box and get some movement. Here comes the big throw.
Big throw.
And they slip it through.
And a shot!
Oh, wow! Just wide.
Just wide. Tyus Phillips going for his second goal of the game.
Carthage better be quick to get back. Watch out on the left side here.
With all that foot action, I question if that could have been a corner.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
so it looks like this game's going to result in a tie.
Do it, guys.
Both teams probably deserve the result they're going to get here. Wow. The goalie way out of the box. If we could have gotten a shot, that'd be incredible. So, guys, we thought we'd see some more action here in the second half in terms of goals. It was sort of stuck at a standstill here in the second half. What do you think, Lou?
Well, I just got to tell you, it's everything we expected and more. It was a great game. You saw a lot of effort on both sides. I like what Carthage did in the last 15 minutes of the overtimes after getting that red card. I think they finished the better team in the overtime despite being a man down. But to your point, Tim, it was a well-played game. Either side could have deserved a win today, and unfortunately neither of them got it.
So, Mike, no result, not no result, but a result. Are both teams happy with the outcome?
You know, hey, are both teams happy?
I mean, when you look at it after, you settle down from not wanting to tie, like tomorrow when they look at it, are they both happy with what happened today?
I think when the dust settles, I think they're going to realize and the emotions are away from it that, hey, the result wasn't as bad as it could have been. If they would have came out of here a loss, and we just saw it's four teams battling for that last, or 5 teams battling for that last spot. So I think like Lou said, either team could have won this. At periods during this game, North Park had the advantage. At periods, Carthage had the advantage. So yes, to answer your question, Tim, I think they'll both be fine with that result, and I think this is setting up for probably a nice conference tournament game too. It's going to be interesting.
So guys, let's size this up here really quick. We've got some upcoming matches. I want to get your Carthage is coming over to the sideline to thank their fans for really cheering it and really giving them their all. What I see here, Mike, is you got Wheaton at 3-1. Carthage is going to be at 3-1-1 in the table. North Park is going to be at 2-1-1, so they played one fewer game, and they're going to have North Central looking like they're going to go to 3-1. Let's make an assumption they beat Augustana and go to 3-1, and Elmhurst at 2-2. We have matches still to play against a couple of those teams, and those are going to go a long way to deciding the outcome of whether Carthage A makes it into the CCIW tourney as well as North Park, and where they sit. Think about if you finish fourth, you've got to play Wheaton, who, if you saw that Wheaton game where Carthage played, Wheaton looked like they were really on top of their game. I don't think it's a team you want to play in that first match.
No, you're right, Tim. I agree. I mean, everyone's looking at that Wheaton probably and wondering, if they're going to play them in the first round or the second round. If you can kind of get positioned well and play them in the second round, I think you got a better shot.
So how do you size this up? So coming down the stretch here, does North Central have enough in them, or Elmers have enough in them to creep in and knock one of Carthage or North Park out of the CCIW tourney?
Well, that's something that only time's going to be able to tell, Tim. And I think what we saw today was a couple of good teams going at it. When you look at the top of the table, and North Central, as we said, probably coming out with a win today, I give them the best chance to get and compete for one of these top spots. But I think Wheaton, Carthage, and North Park all at the top of the table. It's going to make for an exciting tournament.
All right, so let's do some final thoughts here. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, basically, I thought Carthage played well at times. I think, obviously, early in the game we struggled. We settled down. We had periods where we looked really good. I think there's probably some takeaways. There's probably a little bit more of a separation between our front line and our mid line. So I think they tightened that up to have a cohesive front on the offensive side. Because the defensive side, I think they look pretty good. I think Giles looked great in the back. Riley and the folks, so they did well. So I think yeah, they're going to look at the game tape. They're going to probably hear a lot of the things that we said, and take that back to the drawing board and improve on that.
Great, thanks, Mike. Lou?
Not much to add there. I'd just like to see Carthage get a few more. They had opportunities and dangerous opportunities, but I'd like to see them get more shots out of the live play on net. I think most of their opportunities came off the throw-ins. What a weapon that Townsend is, and but everything was coming from dead ball plays. I'd like to see them get more shots created out of the opportunities, but otherwise impressed. And I got to say, Bakiri in the back really impressed me today. I thought he played a good game, was strong in the air, and made a lot of good defensive plays. So all around a good effort, and I think they can take some good things away from this game.
Yeah. So the last thoughts I'll sort of leave with are, I thought it took a little time for us to get sort of checked into the game. Our rate and pace really didn't pick up. We were much better in the second half. I was surprised that we didn't come out. We came a little off of we were on our back foot a little too much early in that game. Probably put ourselves under more than North Park really impacted. We put ourselves in bad situations early in that game and at other times throughout. So what I did like was the heart. I really liked the effort. I thought in the second half, once we got that ball to Ivan, and once we got that ball, and Sar Mahoney really made a big impact stretching the field a little bit. I thought that's where we were really strong. I would have liked to see us start that way a little quicker and maybe get off to that early 1-0 lead and make North Park be the team that had to really play harder to get a result here. So it didn't happen. We end this game 2-2. I think both teams, when they look at it tomorrow from a result in the table, will be we're happy that they're still sort of in second and third place here, but I think both teams feel they had opportunities to win that game. Again, Lou, I think you bring up some great points in terms of a lot of ours came off of a dead ball situation. Would like to see more come with more cheeky play in the middle, maybe more 1-2 combinations, not get stretched so wide, and maybe stay in unison a little bit more. And then Mike, some great points too. I mean, we had the opportunities to do some more in the middle of the field by stretching our midfielders wide and maybe giving some more operating area to our better technical players. So I think, Steve, again, I'll look at the game film, see some things that we need to correct, and maybe get some guys, maybe get Giles Phillips a little higher and take advantage of some of his real skills in the air. So, this is Tim Burke, Lou DeFalco, Mike Doman. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, even though you didn't love the result. But again, both teams still sort of sitting in a good position. So thanks for listening. See you next time. Brilliant. Good times. My feet are killing me, by the way.
I had to sit down and do overtime.
Yeah, I was.
How do you get a rib turn in overtime?
You shouldn't.
You do. How did you do?